What's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Kera Dangerous. It's a special show anytime I get to be with my homie, Ron Hurd the second. You better not say third.
That's right. Unless you want to, I mean, we can work on collaboration on making a third. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can make a third if you want to make that happen.
Oh boy, oh boy. Look, happy Sunday, everybody. Today he has risen. It's
That's right.
Easter. So shouts out to God. We love you.
That's
At least
right.
I know I do. You know. So yes, Easter. Got a lot to talk about today, Ron.
Yes,
You
we
know,
do.
it's like been some crazy weeks with a lot of good news populating.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, well, is anything such thing bad thing as bad publicity? Is there such thing as bad publicity?
Well, they used to say it wasn't.
Okay, well, there we go. I mean, it's like it's a circus. The world's a circus, man. The world's a circus. Bread and circuses, a lot of distractions, and it's overwhelming right now. I know that like the
Mhm.
days are moving farther along, and the days are getting shorter. All the weird weather and stuff going on. They got to be manipulating the weather. Then
Wait, you feel like the days feel shorter?
I know they are short. Yeah, it's like some biblical
Wow.
stuff going on. There's a thing they got called Project Blue Beam, where they're either going to fake an alien invasion or the coming of Jesus.
Now I think I did hear something about that, and you see all this technology they have where they can put images into the sky. You know, we seen videos sometimes that go
Mhm.
around on social media, and you have to say, "Is this Photoshop? Is this not?" And I've
Right.
seen some pretty scary looking videos. I mean, maybe I'm easy to scare, but some pretty horrific looking images that I don't want to see. You know.
Well, it's like it's a movie called Wag the Dog that people should look at. It came out around Bill Clinton's presidency, his second
Hmm.
term, with the Monica Lewinsky thing. It talks
Hmm.
about some White House fixers hiring a Hollywood producer to create a fake war.
Hmm.
You got the wars and the rumors of wars. You can't believe your lying eyes. You can't believe what you read. You can't believe what you see. But you got to develop that God trust, that instinct, your intuition, that third eye. It's very important in these days that you develop a discernment and an intuition with yourself. A lot of folks
Well,
don't have a
hold
relationship with
on, go
themselves.
ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I'm
Hold
not.
on,
I
Ron
know it's
heard the
Easter, but
second. Is that you?
yeah,
Wait.
but you got to trust who you are. If you are made in the image of God, you got some God
Okay.
instincts and God qualities. But if you don't know what's going on and you don't know what's going on with you, then you the problem. If you don't
Ron, did we
understand or
swap
understand,
places? That's
well,
normally what I come with. Well, you must be feeling extra special on this Easter Sunday. Okay.
well, I mean, it's a lot of weird stuff happening. Like I had my it's a weird week because I had my father call me or he contacted me. I ain't talked to my father almost 2 years, and he a
Wow.
Jehovah Witness. He trying to get me like I say I'm spiritual. I'm not religious, but it's interesting times that he'll call me out the blue, wanting to talk more. I said I don't hate my father like that. I just don't have no.
You
It's
don't
like
have
one
no
of those things.
words.
Yeah, well, when I see him, I don't have no animosity towards him.
Mhm.
He made his choices, I made mine. But as I get older as a man, I can understand why. Because I was telling him I was listening to Marvin Gaye, "Hear My Dear" on repeat. It made me think about I don't
Mhm.
want really want to get married. I don't think. Because Marvin Gaye, he lay it out for you. I think Will Smith is listen to that on repeat right now too. But I mean, you get to understand better as you live more and experience more things. That okay, I can understand maybe why he may have responded like that, or he may not, follow up on that. But not making any excuses. But life is so short. All you got is today. That's it.
Now that's what I'm talking about as an opening run. You know, you went to you
I'm
are you,
oversharing. Like,
you are in Memphis, baby. You bought the barbecue with you on this good Sunday.
oh yeah.
What?
What?
Yo.
Speaking of Memphis, the Grizzlies in the playoffs, and I was at the barber shop. I was getting ready for a wedding. Actually, it was a dude. I knew this young lady. Congratulations to Fatima and her husband, a beautiful couple. He actually was a fan of mine for years, but I knew the young lady for years because she was a friend of the
Mhm.
family. But it turned out her husband was a fan of the show, so he invited me to their wedding. It was amazing. This full weekends all April, just going and celebrating people's life, big life moments. But just to know that people are listening, especially young black men, are listening to me is really interesting, especially for a long time. So I guess whatever I said to him helped him out, and he really appreciated me showing up for his big day, him and Fatima. So I want to send congratulations out to them. And I saw Zebo yesterday at the barbershop, which is interesting. Right before the Grizzlies game, Zebo was there, Zach Randolph. I mean, I didn't know who he was at first.
Okay,
He was a
yeah.
tall black dude with a fade, and everybody gave
Zach
him a lot of
Randolph look like a
respect.
Ninja Turtle.
I mean, he stands out. He stands out. But he
you
a
should have
cool
got him a
brother,
pizza. Then it
I
would have
mean,
been confirmed.
yeah,
Because, they love pizza.
But it's interesting about Zach. He's really laid back. He fit in with Memphis though. Memphis loves Zach Randolph. I mean, when I approached him in his car, he wasn't scared or nothing like that. And, he knew Young Dolph and all this other stuff. He was hanging out at the game with Moneybag Yo. But Zach is really comfortable in his skin, and he's not a bad brother. I mean, he's really patient with people. He loves being around people and engaging people. So I thought he gonna be a good luck omen or a good omen when I saw him at the barbershop before the Grizzlies game. But they lost, but they still in it because it's grind time.
Grind time. Time. Zach. What's the basketball player you were just speaking of? He was a
Zach Randolph Zebo.
Yeah, he was a good player. I'm just joking around, but
people do say he looked like a Ninja Turtle and all that stuff. He's like a bear sometimes. He got an interesting look. It's very distinctive, but he won't bite you, as far as I know. This year will be the 25th anniversary of the bite. With Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, and people come out the slap. I mean, if Mike Tyson could reinvent his image within 25 years and he's selling bite candy or bite whatever.
Yeah, they look good. The cannabis gummies and
based
took a bite off the ear.
Yeah.
The gummies, yeah.
And Holyfield and him, my friends now. They close. I mean, he bit the man's ear off and they close.
Yeah, they cool now.
I mean, come on, what's a slap then versus a bite?
Yeah, yeah. Hey. You know what? We already got it flowing, but you know what, Ron? Don't get too crazy because I still gotta play the intro. We gotta let people know what they are so they won't get confused. And while the intro is going, I want y'all go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. You already know what it is. Love it when you talk that talk. Ooh, I love it when you talk that talk that talk. Ooh, Ooh, Okay, all right. Well, we
back. Oh man, okay.
People are losing it, man. People are just tired. Okay, and I can understand some people don't want to go back to work, but some jobs call for you to go to work. And a job that calls you to go to work is an entertainment is when you're an actor. You gotta go, you gotta be around other people, and you gotta put on a good face, and you gotta do your acting role, okay? So Thaddy Newton, we all hear about what's going on right now. She was supposed to be on the upcoming Magic Mike with Channing Tatum, who stars in the movie. I believe Sandra Bullock is one of the producers of this movie. I saw him on an interview with Shannon recently, and Channing. But either Thaddy had a meltdown run, or people are saying, well, it's rumors. Either she got fired, or what was it? She got fired, or she just wanted to leave to get herself together.
I mean, she supposed to got into it with Channing Tatum. She either got fired or she resigned or they forced out. But at the end result, she got kicked off. I mean, she left the project.
All because they argued about Will Smith. How many more people will be ruined because of this?
I don't know. That's crazy.
That's the rumor, that she was arguing with Channing about the slap at the Oscars. I mean, I guess one of them agreed with Will and one of them didn't.
What's interesting is people forget, Magic Mike 2. Have you ever seen any of the Magic Mike movies?
I have not.
Okay, Magic Mike 2 featured Jada Smith in there, Jada Pinkett Smith. Wow. So I don't know who took whose side on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was featured. She's like a madam of a strip house or something like that.
Wow. So it's just like we can't get away from this topic, but people are saying in her personal life, Thaddy's husband, after 20-something years, has left her, and that's really was at the core of this issue. Some of the people on set felt like she was acting a little off, but I don't know. We just don't know what the truth is. But reports are saying that she's getting ready to go to rehab But why rehab and not therapy? I don't know if they mean rehab is just some place rich people go and they in this therapy and you don't necessarily have to have a drug problem. Maybe that's but when I saw that report, I said to myself, well, that was great for them to drop that statement, being that the other rumor is that, you know, she got in an argument with the star of the movie, because I'm thinking that maybe that could be kind of not an excuse, but just so that when she's trying to get another job, people won't say, well, this lady, you know, had this situation where she couldn't get along with her coworker who was a star in the movie. So I don't know what you think about this, Ron. It's kind of,
well, you think about, you know, what the first unveiled said the will to be labeled difficult in Hollywood is a death sentence for the career of a black person, a black woman in particular, a person of color who happens to be a woman. To have that difficult label on you like that, to leave a high profile project like Magic Mike, whatever the circumstances may be, it could eventually blackball her.
Yes.
You know, so that's important to remember. Also, you know, you got substance abuse. A lot of them celebrities and Hollywood people, they are under influence of something. You know, the fame is their drug. Fame is their drug, and it's a deadly and costly drug for a lot of people. History will show you that, you know. And I think her husband was a white man, so it was the white man that left her. Like a lot of these black actresses,
he left her, boy.
Yeah, it was always the white dude to see how they leave the black woman. It's never the other way around. So I mean, maybe that argument about Will and Jada and Chris was the straw that broke the camel's back. Kind of like, you know, when Will slapped Chris Rock, it wasn't really the problem. It was this, you know, it's like enough is enough. You know, that was his breaking point.
Well, of course, they're saying that, you know, her relationship with Channing Tatum is just fine, and she left because, well, what's the reason they put here? For personal reasons. So I don't know if we'll ever get the truth about this situation, but you know,
is it important though at the end of the day for any of us to really care about this?
Well, it's not important for me.
You haven't even seen any of the Magic Mike movies. I saw 2 of them already.
Oh, you okay? We got a fan.
I mean, it's about male strippers. I've been saying, like, you know. But, you know, Channing Tatum is interesting because he's like one of them guys. I think he's gender fluid. You know, he go both ways. He talks about that. So maybe he could, you know, he's Team Jada. Because she was in the Magic Mike movie.
Sorry, I've only always seen him with a woman. So
yeah, he talked about his because he used to be a stripper back in the day. Before he got on, he was a stripper. You know, those strippers, they have interesting, you know, approaches to stuff like that. Male and female. A lot of them, I heard a lot of male strippers are gay anyway. That's what I heard allegedly.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay. Why it makes sense? I'm curious now.
No.
You've been to strip clubs before, right?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm not stepping into that one.
All right. I'm not trying to set you up. I have never been to a strip club, you know. Maybe it's something I need to put on my bucket list. Maybe go to Magic City.
I've been to a strip club, and you know what? It's, you know, you see beautiful women. But the thing is, it's kind of awkward for me. I want to pretend like I'm cool in there, like everything's okay. But I just feel like I see somebody beautiful, and I'm like, I want to say, let me get you out of here. Let me get you signed up for school.
Can you get away?
You're too pretty to be in here. Yeah, that's what I really want to say. And then I'm not just gonna be in my money in there like that.
Well, I had a friend, or a college classmate, but you know, she's good people, and she I remember she graduated from Washington University, whatever, and everybody knew, including people, mamas knew that she was stripping over in East St. Louis at the Pink Slip. And my thing is, when I first saw her, like a couple years after school, I was at, you know, unexpected place. I walked to you know, connect with another friend. She was outside the front entrance of these apartment buildings, and the first thing she said, yeah, you know, I be working at the Pink Slip. I said, damn, she owned it. Because she was a classically trained dancer too, very smart young lady, educated. But I mean, she owned it. But everybody was like, it was a big scandal for her to be working like that after college. But she had no reason. She had family issues going on and trying to save money, and you know, and she moved on from there. But she embraced that. She didn't let nobody shame her. She didn't think it was bad to strip.
Well, you know, people have their reasons. You know, sometimes I think like it's a show. I believe it's on BET, Down in the Pink. I can't think
hey, you talking about P-Valley?
P-Valley.
It's on Star. You know the lead, Mercedes, that's my high school classmate. We went to junior high and high school together.
Wow.
Randy, she looked good for her age. She do all her actual stunts, but she always was dancing, cheerleading. Also, she's a creative writer too. She's very gifted in writing.
Yeah, she's one of the baddest ones on there. She's
Yeah,
the
Brandon.
biggest dancer on there. She
They
can
still crush on
dance.
her. Yeah.
And I want to bring that show up because you have things like stripping that was frowned upon for so long. And, it's still looked at a certain way. But I wonder, when you make shows like that, does it somehow now make us stop looking at things like that as being something wrong to do? Because
Yeah.
we're looking at it and we're sympathizing with, oh, this person may be stripping because they had bad luck here and they were
Right.
just trying to get their way through this. And I had to catch my show when watching a TV show too. It's like, no, this is still not something that we should be glorifying, even if it's a story behind it. I just find it interesting because sometimes subconsciously, when we just keep seeing things over and over, we start to, I don't know if accept is the right word, but it starts to kind of soften the blow of it not being indecent anymore. We start feeling like it's okay to do, it's decent. Just like how people like Amber Rose feel like nobody should be called a whore. Well, I mean, whore, those words are in the dictionary. So it's somebody who are those things, who are those adjectives or so I mean nouns. So we can't get rid of that. If you feel what I'm trying to say here.
It's the world's oldest profession for a reason. I'm talking about prostitution, but people always tell me I don't pay for it. I mean, we always paying. I'm gonna pay for it one way or the other. It's like, even if you my wife, girlfriend, or a stripper or a prostitute, I'm paying for the kitty cat one way or the other. There's no, I mean, people on this illusion, like, well, pimps don't choose they hoes, the hoes choose them. Women
like my
choose
good brother saying it's called normalizing. Yeah, we don't want to normalize. I think that's the word I was searching.
We're beyond that now, because you even look at with the alternative lifestyles, the alphabet community, how they put that in every show now. You got to have that twist. Even when I was looking at Bel Air, the new spin on the Fresh Prince, I think it's a brilliant show. But then episode 5 came along. What's that about? It's like you try. It's like it's a form of systemic genocide and population control, and it's targeting black people. I ain't gonna say people of color. I'm saying black people, because black folks always think they got a friend. You got no friends. You got no brown friends. You got no yellow friends. If you're not a friend to yourself, you got no friends. So it's targeting black families. See, this is the problem with where we at now. I was at a wedding last night. All of them beautiful women single. That's gorgeous, highly educated, sophisticated. And the guys, we all afraid. We in the corner dance among ourselves. The girls over here dance with themselves. What happened in 20 years for us to get to the point that we're afraid to interact with each other?
You know what?
I mean, it's like the older women were cool with me. Like, I'm talking about women in their 50s and 60s. They wanted to dance with me. But the people my age and younger, they're like, they was afraid of me.
You know what happened?
What? Cuba Gooding Jr. What he do? What he do?
This is what everybody's concerned that you gonna catch a case. Okay. Yeah. I think people are they're paranoid. Maybe it's not being paranoid, but everything is hiding right now. The sensitivity, everything.
Yeah. That's right. You're right about that.
And Cuba Gooding Jr., when you say his name, when you see a picture of him, you already know he's just a party boy.
Yeah.
That's what I see when I see him. Even when he looks like even when he's not talking, he's just a party boy. Now, he pleads guilty to forcible touching. And this has happened several times. Actually, 3 different women said that he groped them in a Manhattan venue in 2018 and 2019. In 2019, a woman accused him of grabbing her breasts at a New York City bar, Magic Hour rooftop lounge. And so I had to say to myself, at some point, Cuba's got to look at his behavior. Because it's not just groping, which if somebody may say, oh, well, that's not that bad. But separate from the criminal case Gooden is facing, a civil lawsuit for allegedly raping a woman twice in 2013. Now, even if you are innocent on some of those charges, he just pleaded guilty to this groping incident. You got to start looking at your behavior and your actions and making some changes. What do you think?
Nah, I agree with you on that, but that's who he is, allegedly. I mean, I remember when he played OJ some years ago, and somebody asked him, "Did you talk to OJ to get ready for the role?" I said, "I don't need to talk to him." I said, "You wish you was OJ right now." See, like he don't want to be Cosby or R. Kelly. You gotta give props to OJ and Cosby and R. Kelly. They doing their time. Whatever you may think about their innocence or guilt, they was willing, and they doing their time. They willing, because like it was like Eddie Griffin said, "No black man leaves here without an asterisk. No black man leaves the business without an asterisk." You look at Will Smith, that slap gonna be in his obituary. It is. I mean, it's like, it is. You can't be able to escape that. It's gonna be a part of Chris Rock's obituary. You think about any black male figure, even Colin Powell. He had that albatross when he sold them bag of goods by weapons of mass distraction to the UN. He knew that was gonna be a part of his obituary too. Ain't no black man leaving here clean. I don't care if you innocent. It's perception that counts. So, man, Cuba really might have pleaded guilty because he can't do the time. He might be innocent. He may be innocent, but he's married to was married to a white woman who was his high school sweetheart, I think, at one point.
I know he's been with white women for sure.
Yeah,
and has children. And
at least OJ had his first wife was black. You know what I'm saying? Like Sidney Poitier, his first wife was black. His mistress was black, Diane Carroll. So he married a white lady. Okay, he gave the sisters a chance, but you even look at that the Thani or Tandy Newton, whatever he said her name. I mean, she was married to a white guy. The white guys normally lead the black woman in those type of relationships. And you look at Cuba, I mean, he is who he is, man. I mean, if he like that white meat or that light meat, I mean, that's who he is. But he got to be careful. Like you said, I wish I had a time machine. I would have been a whore back in the day. I know I would have been hoeing. I've been screwing everything. Women as far as women go. Now, all the women I turned down over the years, I said, damn, I'm in a drought right now. I would have just screwed everything. Had kids everywhere.
Oh my God.
That's how I feel about it. If I had a time machine, I'd go back in the past, forget the future.
You'll go back in the past?
Yeah, because it'll change the future. I go back in the past. I've been, that girl I turned down at Valentine's Day, I would have got with her.
Could be. You have to be careful messing with the past. It messes up other little things. I've seen enough of those shows where they cross dimensions and those movies and stuff. You gonna mess up on something. One of your relatives gonna be dead that didn't die until like 30 years later just because you went back and dated
maybe it's a good thing though. Maybe you tolerate family most of the times. Like you love at a distance with family. You can't help who you related to, but I can make a choice about who I screw. More so who I'm related to. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, I just look at like last night. I go back to that wedding thing. I was like, man, people don't really talk to each other on that basic level. Like black men and black women have allowed media, social media, and the powers that be to just break up our connection to each other.
Well, that was already kind of crumbling, but I do agree on every level, whether it's man and woman, woman and woman, man and man, friendship, any relative relationship. Just being so addicted to social media and they market it to us like it's addiction. I know for me, it's like you wake up, you breathing, and you look at your phone. It should be. I would rather do prayer before I do that. And it's literally like a sickness, and you just gotta do it, or you just gotta do it.
Right.
You gotta pick up your phone.
Sad, ain't it? I got that addiction.
It's very sad. It's a problem. It's a real problem.
We all need to go to rehab then.
We all need to.
I said no. Like rehab.
But what is Cuba? Let's go back to Cuba. On the second woman said that he actually pinched a server's butt.
Okay.
After making a sexually suggestive remark to her at Tao downtown in Manhattan. So he's touchy-feely.
Yeah. And
it's just like a constant party. He would have done fine in the 80s, okay? Yeah, if he was a celebrity in the 80s, it would have been not that it would have been cool, but as for those days, it wouldn't have been a big deal until it got to this time, and then some white woman would have brought it up now.
Well, okay, think about Cuba Gooding. Let's go to Gary Coleman then. Right, well, Molly Shannon.
Oh, yes.
That shit, excuse me, that stuff is crazy.
Right. And I mean, nobody should be trying to, force themselves upon you. But actress Molly Shannon said that Gary Coleman tried to. He wasn't trying to necessarily rape her, but he jumped on her.
I mean, he was 4'8", and she tall. See, Gary Coleman got a type. He like them tall white girls, maybe reddish brown hair. Red, he got a type, so I'm sure that he was attracted. Molly Shannon, white women don't age well for the most part. I mean, she looks like, okay, don't look at her now. Look at her back 20, 30 some years ago. She probably was tight and hot, and she a Catholic girl, and Catholic girls be freaky. I ain't saying all of them, but they be freaky. They be touchy. They love the Lord. They love expressing themselves. So in the Gary Coleman's defense, he's been dead for a while. So, I mean, it's like she wrote a book, her memoir. So you got to have some nasty, like hot, salacious, scandalous details in these books to sell them. So I can understand that part of it. But it's like when the girl went to Mike Tyson's hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning. They're going to do Bible study. You're going to go to Mike Tyson's hotel room at 2 o'clock in the morning and do Bible study. And he ate you out and you still sit that man in prison. How he raped you, he ate you out good. You know, I mean, allegedly. But I'm saying you never heard anything more about Desiree Washington since that time. I know my aunt used to work at the airport. She had a friend that worked at the airport. Mm-hmm. Mike Tyson came in. The friend disappeared. My aunt got his autograph. She showed us the autograph, but her friend disappeared with Mike Tyson between flights somewhere. Undisclosed location. Get it on. So that's her friend. I mean, she was a super fan, met Mike Tyson for the first time, let Mike Tyson hit that at the airport. See, Mike Tyson had women all over the place. I mean, I'm saying, like, if I'm a famous person like that, it's going to be hard for me to turn down maybe drugs or Kit Kat. Or anything you like. Maybe you like cucumbers or eggplants.
But
all that your excess is hot. I mean, Gary Coleman was hot at one point. People forget that he was a big star at one point.
Yeah, and you just made me think too. But is that because he's been privileged before to think that he can just reach out and touch somebody like that?
He said she went to his hotel room. Her agent sent her to his hotel room. She didn't go to no lunch. I'm not saying it's right.
No, I'm talking about Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah, he's been a title. You got to think about, his father. His father was a famous musician, famous singer. So yeah, he's been a title for a long time. Because Boys in the Hood, that was a powerful movie, still powerful. He was a star there. That came out in the early '90s. So he's been around the scene. He's been around his father. I'm not saying that, but he's been around that industry for a while.
Wait, let me tell you this. He better get caught up to times before he find himself behind bars for a very, very long time, because ain't nobody gonna be saying, well, your daddy was a rock star 20 years ago. They just gonna lock your black ass up.
I think he know that now. He's like,
he gonna know. He
got his wake up call. He got his wake up call.
Speaking of just people just don't learn. Now this is just Cracker Barrel employees have code word for black people. Now all I got is this headline here. Because it's the Cracker Barrel.
I'm gonna let you know what time it is.
And whenever I go to the Cracker Barrel run, I get a little panicky.
Oh, really? Get anxiety.
I feel like I'm back in 1940 or something. Okay, and I don't go there like that. So I mean, I've been there a couple of times. But I'm just like, is a hound after me? Do they know I'm free? It's just it's rocking chairs. I immediately feel like I'm on a plantation. I have flashbacks. Run.
Really? You get generational trauma. They singing the songs of the South and stuff. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I went to Cracker Barrel a couple weeks ago. The food ain't what it used to be. Like every place, the restaurant, the food has went down everywhere. I don't care if it's fast food or a nice restaurant. Food ain't what it used to be. But it's funny. Remember, like back in the day when those Secret Service men were discriminated against, them black guys, Secret Service guys discriminated against in Denny's in Annapolis, Maryland. Remember that? That was back in the '90s, I think. They sued that Denny's, but black folks still go to Denny's.
Yeah, I didn't go to Denny's.
Go to a Waffle House.
Because my friend told me about that. What about Waffle House?
Black folks been harassed at Waffle House. We still go to Waffle House.
I ain't never been harassed at Waffle House.
But you heard a story like the girl was in her prom dress, got thrown down by the police. I mean, the dude that saved those people at the Cracker Barrel, the black guy up in Antioch, I believe, near Nashville, basically. A couple of years ago, the black guy stopped a gunner from killing a lot of people. He ended up killing some black people, I think. It was a white gunman came into a Waffle House up in Nashville back in 2018, and people got mad because people thought Trump should have congratulated him or recognized him for his heroism.
Wait, so what am I not getting? My waffle and
I mean, I'm
crispy
saying
hash
these are
for?
places where black folks love to go. Black folks love Cracker Barrel. We love to go where we hated against, or hated on, or discriminated against. Think about
Well,
back
that
in the
would be
day.
everywhere.
It is everywhere. But I'm saying, think about back in the day when black folks try to integrate Woolworths and stuff. They spitting on you, throwing coffee and food on you. You just want to be with white folks so bad at all costs. See, number one problem with black people, we want to be with white people at all costs. That's our problem. It ain't nothing. I don't care about no data. You love white folks more than you love your life. This is why we get the stuff we get now. This is why we get killed by police. We get discriminated against in housing. We the first, last hired and the first fired because we love them more than we love ourselves. We should have a code. Like they got a code. They Cracker Barrel. They told you who they are. Cracker Barrel.
The Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, got a gun. Got yourself a gun. Cracker Barrel.
Do you feel? Do you have a flashback when you go there?
Not there, but I do avoid Dollar Trees. I had a very Dollar Tree. I don't go to Dollar Trees at all.
Why? What happened to you in it?
It was a white manager at one of these Dollar Trees that disrespected me and one of his employees. It was a good black guy. He disrespected us so bad. I wrote to the corporate offices, they never responded. So I made a blog post about it, and like years later, I get all this stuff from people that work at work at Dollar Tree. Tell me they do discriminate like that because there was a woman out in California, a black woman, a young mother that was killed at a Dollar Tree. It was weird because Dollar Tree didn't want to pay off to the family. She had a young son. It's something about I don't know if she got killed on her off day. It's like some weird stuff. They trying to find to take a technicality for, but places like that, they don't deserve my money if they don't respect me as a person.
Yeah, I didn't go to dentist for a long time because I think it was when I was in Connecticut. Somebody was telling me, "Oh, we can't go to dentist because of blah blah blah," and I had never heard of the reason before. At least unless I'm tripping, but so I didn't go, and I think I was just out with some family, and they just picked to go there one day, and that was the first time in a long time. But yeah, so I try sometimes. But it's literally just so many products, so many companies, so many places that don't like black people. So I think we have to, it would be impossible to just block out everything. We have to try to get different things changed and, fight for things when we can fight for them.
It's like, to me, it's like a lot of wasted energy, though, like the Alicia Keys song, Wasted Energy. Because like we always fighting for inclusion rather than fighting for ourselves to be comfortable with who we are, to create our own safe spaces and places of inclusion. So we always talk about, black folks use this word diversity like it's a good thing for black people. The term diversity is not a good thing for black people. It means,
Ron, I have grown to hate the word diversity. You don't understand because it's such bullshit. These companies use the word diversity and inclusion. It really makes my ass hurt. I just hate the word. Human resources too, in a lot of companies is a bunch of just BS. It's just all BS just to make things seem well. They just really smooth things over. We're really never fixing anything. And I was just having this conversation with somebody. And then when you do have black people that they want to move along fast, it's always the jiving, kiss ass kind first. But then when they use inclusion and diversity together, then I've talked about this before, they're gonna pick white women first if it's a situation where they worried about women. Oh, let's promote women. It's gonna be white women first. Every single time. And
what group benefited from affirmative action more than anybody? What group benefited from affirmative action more than anybody?
Well, let me say this. And then when it is a black person that's chosen, they got a white spouse.
Right. Like the Supreme Court. Like the Supreme Court.
You can't make this stuff up.
It's a code. You look at white women benefited more from affirmative action than any other group. But yet black folks are the targets of getting hated on for that. It's like, even look at the Supreme Court. All of them, even Thurgood Marshall, his second wife, I believe, she wasn't black. I don't think she identified as black. You know, so it is a code. It is something they go by. And my thing, black folk, we kind of weird. We so emotional. Like something wrong with us because like we so, oh man, she black. I mean, she might not be good for us though.
Right at this point, how can you trust anybody? Like at this point, I don't care. They out here making clones. So why would I trust you just because you got the same skin color? It ain't gonna work.
And that
you
be the
could
worst
be a puppet.
I tell you, some of the biggest problems I have with bureaucracies are black women as gatekeepers. When I go, whatever it be, state bureaucracy or anything, going to the bank or DMV, be some black woman will give me some hell. Grocery store, black woman, hold up the line. She cashier. I mean, it's just like, it is so weird. They weaponize black women to undermine the black family. And a lot of black women don't know that. I look at the women yesterday. They successful in their careers, but they lonely as hell.
Yes.
Got no man, got no kids, got no family. Because they told you, society said, forget the family, black woman. Go get you a career and all this other stuff. Okay, we got no family unit no more. Black men, you don't need a man. What other group of women been told they don't need a man? What other group? But black women. Even white feminists know they need a man. They know they need some type of patriarchy. And black people complain about patriarchy. We never been allowed. Black men have never been allowed to be in much control over their families in the system.
Well, look, you're saying a lot, which reminds me of actually our next topic. So let's get to it. Since you kind of segued into it. Cam Newton, people were saying his recent comments on Barstool Sports $1 Million Worth of Game podcast were sexist. Now, there were some people on Twitter who didn't find a problem with what Cam Newton said. They just felt like people were being sensitive. But of course, when we read the headlines, most, they tried to make it like it was so many people against Cam Newton. So I'm going to try to play the audio to that. Hopefully YouTube won't block it. But I just want to say before we even watch it, we have to. It's a thin line with celebrityism, because when can people have their own opinion about anything? You don't have to. It's just like nobody's ever gonna be satisfied 100% with anything that you say.
That Dave Chappelle Ja Rule joke about 9/11. What did Ja Rule think about this? Right. Ja Rule was hot back then, but why would we care about what Ja Rule think about 9/11? It was funny. Still,
it just okay. Here it goes. We're gonna play audio.
A perfect example of what a man was in my life by my father. My parents has been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother. And I knew what a woman was, not a bad bitch.
Okay, what's the difference?
A woman.
Okay.
A bad bitch is a person who's just, girl, I'm a bad bitch, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I look the part, but I don't act the part.
Okay.
And it's a lot of women who are bad bitches. And I say bitches in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem is a boss chick. Now, a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs, right? And I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm a boss bitch, like I'm a this, I'm a that. No, baby, like, but you can't cook.
Okay.
You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead.
So that's it. I mean, okay. He feels that way. He also has a baby mama, and he has like 5 children with her, and he never asked her to marry him. So
now, what was he a stripper or something like that? I'm curious, because he's from the ATL.
I don't know. I don't know at this moment what she has done for work.
Well, I'm saying, like, if he came from a 3-parent, okay.
Now she doesn't look black here, but she actually is, unless he traded in some other person. But this picture is just black and white. But I've seen pictures of his girl. This actually don't look like her, but he had this picture on his Instagram.
My thing is, why did he marry her then? She was good enough to have kids with. Why did he came from a 3-parent household. He came from a functional family home, it sounds like, but why did he marry her?
Exactly. So it's just like I wouldn't even let his comments bother me. For all the people who let it bother them, you got to look at the source. I mean, some of the things he said, I mean, it wasn't that bad to me, so that's his opinion. But you're not even a good example of the family that you said you came from. I totally agree with you, Ron. If you see the perfect example is not gonna be to have. I mean, this guy at least I know he got over 4 children with this lady.
Okay.
And he's been with her for a while and no ring.
That's
so you really can't tell me nothing about because you know what, your girl, you make her look like a fool for catering you and don't have no damn ring.
Well, I'm reading it said Kia Proctor, is that name? First gained fame as a dancer under the name Hazel at a Washington, D.C. strip club.
Well, that probably
is her. Met Newton after she moved to Atlanta to work as a party host and pursued a modeling career, and the pair began dating in 2013 and first appeared together in public at the Kentucky Derby. Yeah. So you don't remember Paul George? He was engaged to Doc Rivers' daughter.
I know Paul George.
Yeah, you probably know. But I'm saying, you remember, like, he got into an entanglement with a stripper down in Miami.
I did hear about that.
And they said he offered her like $1 million to abort the baby. But she said, $1 million? If you want $1 million, this baby's worth millions. And I'm marrying her. Broke up. I guess Doc Rivers' daughter broke out the engagement, or he did, or whatever. And he got with her. I mean, you think about Adrian Peterson, the great football running back. I mean, a lot of his baby mamas are strippers, or some of them, or one of them. It's something about strippers and athletes and entertainment. I'm not passing judgment against anybody. I believe Cam Newton's father is a minister too.
But you know what? It's because athletes, they like fantasy women. They go after their fantasy. They have everything that the fantasy wants: the money, the cars, the fame. So because they can live that life, they go after that. I think he may value what his parents did, but he ain't doing it.
I mean, he make sure he's a grown man. He got free will. Like them suits he be wearing, it's free will. Nobody ain't him to wear them suits.
Yeah, because
Westbrook, I don't know what the hell going on with them suits. Somebody says the perfect Easter suit. I agree.
And I like Cam Newton in a sense. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But I wouldn't take nothing he said serious when it came to relationships, especially if your relationship is not my ideal of what a relationship should be. Like, I'm not gonna get up in arms about it.
Now, I will say this: the black family has been weak since the black man has taken a step back, because we were strongest when the black man was leading, and he had strong women with him. Like, if you look at our greatest leaders, they always had some strong black women, whether it be Medgar Evers and Marilee, whether it be Dr. Betty and Malcolm, Coretta and King. You need a woman like that. That's hurting me right now. Like I said, I go back to what I saw yesterday, where you got all these good-looking women, very accomplished, but they lonely. Like, we don't know how to talk to each other, respect each other, love each other, love ourselves. But I'm missing that. I would love to have a strong woman with me that can understand me, not just take advantage of me, but can really understand or understand who I am and want to be that rock for me. I need that, because it's really hindering me as a human being not to have that. Be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I could be much further if I had the right type of woman with me.
Yeah, and I think different people need different things, but I do agree that, for some people, I mean, I think a relationship is good if that's what you want. And I mean, that's.
But now I get older, I don't know what I really want. That I be listening to Marvin Gaye, Hear My Dear every day.
I don't sound confused. Then you gonna attract a unicorn, because your blessing gonna be like, I'm confused on what it wants.
I want it some days, it's like bipolarism. I'm happy and I'm sad. I don't know.
I feel you, Ryan. I'm just
takes a lot. No, at a certain age, to try to learn people. When you're younger, time is nothing, right? But when you get older, like, I don't waste my time investing in the wrong people to learn about or to bring into my life.
You.
I mean, it's a struggle, man. It's like, I gotta deal with me already.
I got very short fuse with a lot of things and just a limited amount of patience.
Right.
And I like my peace within myself and not having to deal with somebody else's emotional state or lack of that. It's got to be the right situation. So this brings us another good point, which I don't have the headline with me, but Niecy Nash, the actress, recently said that something to this effect, that she's never been with anybody that she's had a friendship with first. I find that interesting, because, well, here it is right here. Here's the headline. People talk bad about one night stands, Ron.
Mm-hmm.
But is it bad to give in to that sexual energy of a person? Because then sometimes that turns into the relationship and the marriage, right?
Yeah, it's possible. It's people been love at first sight, as they say, or one night stands turn to a 50-year entanglement.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. I don't see. My thing is Niecy Nash. She's from St. Louis. I love St. Louis women. They different.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not about Midwest women, but St. Louis girls, they a little bit cooperative. Some of them a little bit crazy, but they cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
And I get where she's coming from with that, because I don't know. I think it's really hard for men and women just to be considered friends. Sometimes you think in the back of your head, this could set off in the right circumstance. Like, a woman will keep a man around just in case, break their glass, get that out and use it. And same thing with a guy. I mean, you want a person to be in your life that you know well, you think you know well, and they know you well. Cause I know I met women in my journey that said we could have been married, because she actually understands me. Like, we never had sex or nothing like that, but she understands what I say, the way I say my body language, the way I say words and stuff. She knows how to get the perfect gift for me for birthdays and special occasions. Maybe I should have married her, but she's a good friend.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. Okay, you said everything was cool with her, but what if you slept with her and then the sex was trash?
That's a good question. I don't know,
man. Is that a big factor? Because
you know why I say I should have been a whore when I was younger, so it wouldn't matter at the end. But
I'm asking you now, does it matter? Because now with you saying that, you making it seem like it does matter to you. Now, does it or does it not matter?
It does matter now, because I wasn't a whore like I should have been back in the day. If I was hoeing around, I look at some of my relatives, they got kids all over the place.
Wait, so you saying that if you would have been around being promiscuous, if you didn't have a good sexual chemistry with a woman, then it wouldn't have mattered so much.
Not now. No, I don't think so. I would have just got tapped out. Like, man, I'm just burnt. I'm exhausted. I've been through everything. I did what I wanted to do. And I just want to have a good friend to share my life with, to share a peace of mind, to make a home with. That's why I think because I look at some of the people that I know are whores and hoes. They got kids all over the place, but they're older. Their bodies are broken down. I got to keep my body together so I can give me some. You know what I'm saying? Like they get to like, I'm going to break my body down, have my Social Security drawn out. I know be like, knees gone, belly all out here, but they had about 50 kids. They don't care if their balls don't work no more. You know what I'm saying?
Whoring takes a toll on you. It's you're damaging your temple, because you're not supposed to be giving it around like my friend Keith says, like a free glass of water. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. He old school. Give a shout out to my boy Keith, baby.
We know David Hope yesterday, the brother who got married, who was a fan of my show, Telvarant. He's 42, so he found him the love of his life. They're like they gonna be happy together, hopefully for a long time. But he's 42, and people think that's late for a guy. I mean, I'm in my 40s now, about to be 42 next Saturday or this upcoming Saturday, and it weighs on me. I'm like, damn, if I just got this out the way, I could just be looking for love. I could mess up my kids, raising them wrong and stuff like that, but at least I would have got out the way. I would have been a grandfather. I know people my age, they grandfathers and grandmothers now. That's crazy.
You know what I had to admit to myself, and I'm gonna start being very honest on this show. Well, as much as I can. I'm already honest, but for some people, sex isn't important, and I get it. They want to say you grow and you get more mature, and sex doesn't matter, and your libido slows down. Forget all that.
Yeah, I don't know.
If the sexual chemistry ain't right, I don't want you. I don't give a damn how immature I sound. I would just admit that today. Okay, so clap for me, Ron, because I don't give a damn what nobody else say. For me, it's very important. And if it ain't working, if everything ain't going together right, if the roller coaster ain't on the tracks, if the train ain't left the station, baby, we ain't gonna be able to do it, baby.
All right,
we ain't gonna be able to make it. I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you on that one. I'm just saying, if I had got it out of my
get that off my chest for a long time, Ron.
That's good, but now I respect it though, because it breaks up a lot of marriages, like sexual performance and lack of money.
Right.
Lack of sex and lack of funds break up a lot of marriages.
Yes. So, hey, it's some things are important to people. Financial literacy, financial stability, you know, the amount of children, or they can't have children, or are they messy? Are they dirty? Are they dumb? Are they smart? Hell, I can stand a dumb and a good if you good and romantic better than I can if you ain't. You better be coming with something.
No, yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, because there's some beautiful dummies out here.
You know about that. They fun for one night, not for a lifetime though. Shit.
But so do you have to be friends then? It's good to be friends. I mean, who gonna say no to friendship? But let me say this. With me, if you my friend, a lot of times I don't want to be with you, because if we were gonna be anything else, I think I would have known that it would have just melted from the start. Because I hear people say, well, boys and girls can't be friends, but I got plenty of guys who are my friends, and sometimes when they get married, you don't hear from them as much. And I heard somebody a homeboy told me, well, sometimes it's because they might have liked you, and then now they do it somebody else.
Most times it is because
but I don't know if that's the truth, but it never comes from my end though. My thing is, if you my friend, you my mother friend, okay? So it don't have to be nothing else outside of that. I mean, I'm not saying, I do get how people start as friends and then it transpires, but no, it's either meet you and I like you and we date and we becoming friends. But it's for me, I can't remember a time where it's ever been we just been friends and then this happened. I don't know if she meant friends as in dating friends. I'm confused. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say, but I mean, with a guy, trust me, they all thinking about they want to be with you at the right moment and right time. Like they would have got with you, whatever that may be for them. But all guys are thinking that, as far as I'm concerned, about, you know, when you befriend women, that, you know, it's a possibility that might happen somewhere where y'all get entangled, you know, because I have befriended women and I got entangled with them, you know. And my thing is, sometimes people respond differently. It may not work out. It's always messy. We getting involved with people, period. I don't care how good you are, your intentions and all that. It's always messy getting entangled or getting with another human being. As far as relationships go, it's never a happy breakup. You know what I'm saying? No matter how well you try to do the breakup, people's feelings will get hurt. But my thing is, I can still be friends with women after we got entangled, you know, years ago, and have no problem with it. But some women do have problems with it.
So I just never had a friend that it would have to be a situation where I liked you in the beginning anyway, and I'm just pretending to want to be your friend when I want to be something else, because it's never been. I just know. For one thing, I'm too blunt for that. I would have been said, "Hey, I like you" or something. I wouldn't. It wouldn't take me unless I feel you. I guess some people maybe it bloomed into this, but I haven't had that rose bloom.
Well, maybe if your friends act like Gary Coleman, been a little bit more aggressive, or Cuba Gooding, they might have got something. They all sitting back too nice and stuff. That was my problem. I was too nice. Women would just have their Kit Kat ready to purr, and you want to pat my Kit Kat run? I just gotta go home. I gotta do my homework. You know, all that bullshit. I messed up my life. I want a time machine.
You ain't had no game run. That's what that was.
I got let so much Kit Kat go by me.
You couldn't peep it. But
I was raised like to be afraid of Kit Kat, like it was the vampires. Man, I was, man. Like if I had got that out the way, I'd be better off as a human. I like, man, okay, this is my girl. She got about 4 kids. I got about 20 kids. We good. We can get married. We got that out the way. You know, that's why I feel like I'm punishing myself at 42. Like I gotta be like Jackie Rock. I gotta get all this stuff right. Get the testosterone up and all this bullshit. My uncle, he let himself go. He already had about 20 kids. He don't care if his balls don't work no more. It's too much pressure on me. My mama told me, you want to get married? I said, I don't want no, I want grandkids. Well, you got 2 other kids. Hell, why they can't give you no kids? There's a lot of pressure on me.
Well, Drew one said no one should need game. Well, when I say game, I'm saying that Ron didn't see the clues. So to me, I'm saying he didn't
I
have
didn't
no
have my
game,
father.
but
You know what it is?
he didn't
My
have
father.
he couldn't pick it up. Like you got to be able to pick up when somebody trying to put it down, or you gonna miss out. And now he's sitting here now crying, talking about some he wish that he would have been. You sound like Toni Braxton when she said, "I wasn't able to live my life because I was on tour with my sister."
Yeah, she tell the truth. It's like Michael Jackson. Where my childhood? Where my Kit Kats? Where's my Kit Kats? God dog it. But I mean, it's interesting though. I mean, you live and learn. And somebody said you don't run, you still young. It ain't over for you. You know, God got my maternal grandmother's father. He had her when he was like in his 60s. He had like 10 kids late, allegedly. I don't know. You know, mama's baby, daddy's maybe, but but he had 10 kids late. He died in the 70s during the Great Depression. So maybe I'll be one of them guys that have them late. I don't know. God got a funny sense of humor like that. I don't know. But it's interesting.
Look, since we speaking on touching and all types of stuff, let's bring this guy up from Florida. He's getting on a lot of people's nerves. It's the governor of Florida, Ronda Santos. I like his last name, Santos. He's a Republican. He's always in the news or in the press doing something. But recently, he's banned 15-week abortion. So you can't get abortions after 15 weeks, no matter if it's rape or incest. Now, Ron, I have to be honest with you, being that I'm such a highly opinionated person, I've said to myself, and I've said, Kara, you need to get firm on how you feel about abortion. But to be honest with you, Ron, I don't know. All I can tell you is I wouldn't want to have an abortion. But if it's rape and incest involved, now that's something where I'm like, okay, now that's serious. And I'm so confused because it's like, is it murder? Because you are getting rid of a life. But if you're okay with that and committing that, then okay, maybe you should have your own choice to do that. Without putting rape and incest in it, I wouldn't want to have an abortion. But I also have never been put in a position to have to make a decision like that.
Right.
So that's why I'm just like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, 15-day no abortion rule.
It's complicated because I am pro-life, but we're in a system that's pro-death. I mean, the system like this, abortion in a way is a necessary evil in a system like this. But I'm pro-life, even with the incest or rape thing. A lot of us would not be here without incest and rape. I'm be honest with you, a lot of us would not be talking right now if it was no incest or rape in our family tree.
When you say incest, it makes me feel sick. Ugh.
I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just being honest. But no, I don't agree with abortion at all. I think that if you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be here, and it is what it is, But at the same time, I can understand. I know it's women that I love in my life. They had abortions. I don't hate them for it, but they regret it. A lot of them do regret it because maybe that was their only time to have a child. Because since they had those abortions, a lot of them never had any other children. I know a woman who had an abortion and it was twins. They got aborted, and I don't hate her. I love her. I love her. She good. She did what she had to do. But I don't make it like no scarlet letter for her. But I do not agree with abortion. I think a woman should tell a man that she's involved with that. She's thinking about that. If she got a child, if she got pregnant by this man, she should let him know and get his input as well. But you think about somebody like Fannie Lou Hamer. She was the last of her parents' kids. She was number 20. What if they had aborted her? And then the state of Mississippi, they sterilized her without her consent. She wanted children, biological children, but they sterilized. It was known back in the day, sterilizing black women and poor people back in the day. All these states in the country, like 21 states, I think, were going around sterilizing women, in particular black women. So think about what they're doing now to the black family. The black family has been splintered by the system, and yet we pointing the fingers at ourselves. It's like, I tell people like Dr. King, the gun that killed Dr. King came from the FBI, right? And if you know that, why you keep on thinking that James Earl Ray did that by himself? If he did do that, if you got the system compromising the integrity of your family unit and your organizations, how can you really win in a system that wants you to fail every time? Especially white, black folks will get married more than anybody else back in the day. You had more married black families than anything. But yeah, after the so-called freedom movements and stuff of the 60s and the 70s, the free love stuff, the black family has been splintered.
Well, let me say this. It's like someone, D.D. Jones, said, either way, it's a woman's choice, abortion. But what if, okay, they got rid of abortion, but with getting rid of abortion, if you were their father, they put in place laws where they made sure that you stayed around or made sure that you did give that child some more money. It was more fines and more regulations for having a relationship if they got rid of abortion. I wonder, would it then be easier for, I guess, men to say, well, like for you, like, would you change your mind then?
I mean, I don't have a problem with, Judge Joe Brown always say, black men pay more for child support than any other group of men in the country, but yet we the problem. They blame us for everything. Turn it up. Like, my thing is, I'll be proud. I don't want no problem having no kid. It's always kids, and death has always been an inconvenience in life. You know what I'm saying? Children and death and taxes have always been an inconvenience, right? You shouldn't have to have the courts to force you. If you can lay down with that woman, you know the consequences of your actions, especially not using any type of so-called protection. If you lay down with anybody, you can't be ashamed to be with them in the public, in the daylight. That's how I look at it. So you got to choose wisely, because biblically, when you lay down with somebody, you are marrying them, supposedly, from a biblical sense.
Exactly.
So you got to be careful. It's like, my thing is, you should not use abortion as a birth control tool, because it's going to destroy your womb. It destroys your body. So the women, really, no woman should be thinking about having an abortion. Now, I know people talking about it's a women's right. That's the problem. See, a lot of white women did not want the right to vote. You understand? Like, a lot of the wealthy, elite white women were okay with being the power behind the throne. See, it goes back what Cam Newton would say. Sometimes you got to play the back row, but you have more power. It's like, even with Dr. King, Coretta had a lot of power.
Well, we never heard from those white women. All we ever heard from was the ones that wanted to vote. Where those quiet white women?
Yeah, but these were lesbians and stuff. I'm just saying, think about it. The ones that didn't care about the vote, they were married, they happily married, they had wealth, they had power, influence, and affluence. The ones who wanted to vote, a lot of them were lesbians.
Well, then
it would seem like to me, I've been saying, I ain't knocking that, but I'm just saying, a lot of them single, they died spinsters, they were spinsters.
I'm sure
they had a house full of pets and all this stuff.
Well, let me ask you this. We know this, he bans 15-week abortions, the governor of Florida. But this is his family right here.
Right.
Okay. What if this is going to sound harsh, but if his wife was just raped,
right?
You think, and she didn't know until, well, I don't know. I guess she would go get a checkup, but let's just say, and she needed to get an abortion. I wonder, would he feel different about it? Because when you make a decision like this, you have to think of it in that way, right? Because it's such an important decision to make for so many people. Look at his children, and it'll be like, you don't want to see this child who was born out of rape. What if you have the child and then you hate the child? Because every time you look at the child, you see what happened to you.
It's possible. Adoption is a great option to give it up for adoption.
But is that fair either? Because then the child, I don't care how good somebody take care of a child, there's still going to be a space missing in their heart when their real parent isn't there.
No, well, shout out to King BJ. I see you in the chat. Well, I would say this. I was on a date recently. It was this female, she was cool. Her first child was a product of a rape. And now he's of age now. He's in his early 20s in college. It's like he's a good young man, and he's asking questions about who his father is. I said, you should tell him. I said, no, I'm not. I said, I don't understand, but okay, I'm gonna step back from that because we on the date. I don't want to but the fact that she was willing to have the child, even though she was raped, says a lot about her anyway to me. But then she don't want to tell the child the identity of his father as a grown man. He needs to know that. You decide to already have him, I think he has the right to know.
Well, see, at this point, this would be where I wouldn't even want to have a child at this point.
Okay.
Then I would then be thinking of abortion in that case.
But she did.
I wouldn't have to deal with all that and then having to tell this bastard who raped me. No, it's see, now it's getting, and I don't know. And then some people may say, well, that's just how life unfolds for you. And then I don't know.
I'm saying like, okay, I'm just saying for him, he may start a family in the near future and stuff like that. You got to know your roots, because a lot of us don't know who we are. And I know people like, well, that person's last name is Thomas, like you. That y'all got the same type of nose and cheekbones. We're not related. How do you know? Do you know your trees like that? Do you know your roots like that? No, I go to Saginaw, Michigan. I got a cousin who got kids. He was a rapper back in the day. He was a innovative trap rapper back in the 90s, whatever. Man got kids and seeds all over the place. Well, if I go back to Saginaw, I'm interested in this young lady and found out that she's my cousin. What you know what I'm saying? We not know. You know, it's a woman. It's a story I saw on YouTube about a woman that lived in Maine back in the 19th century. This lady, when she was a kid, she knew this old lady, but she had a tragic story. She went away to work at the factory in another town in Massachusetts. She lived in Maine. Got pregnant by the manager. She was like 14 years old when she got, when she had the baby. Gave it up for adoption. Then years later, she never married or anything, even though she was beautiful. Ended up in her 30s, reconnected with a young man that came to a town to work. Found out that was her son, her biological son, because he invited his family to meet his wife, and they said, "Oh, that's your mom, son." And so he ended up leaving the town, never to be seen again. She died broken and penniless and heartbroken, and all that stuff. So this stuff happens. You got to know your roots, man. You got to know who you messing with.
Well, I'm glad you said roots, and we're talking about rules and laws, because we gotta bring up Emmett Till, the Emmett Till law. And because I know you had some things to say about this, Ron.
Well,
so go ahead.
My thing is, it had Ida B. Wells' great granddaughter up there by Biden. I met her a couple of times. Michelle Duster, shout out to her. She think I'm in love with her. I'm in love with your grandma, your great grandma. I don't care. I mean, no disrespect to you.
Oh my God.
If I could get stem cell research done to bring Ida B back, or a time machine, I would get in there. You wouldn't exist right now, Michelle Duster, if I got back in there.
Oh my God.
Anyway, but I think it's sad that the Emmett Till bill is really not about Emmett Till. Now, I knew a brother Alvin Sykes from Kansas City. He died last year, and he really was the architect for the Emmett Till bill, because this dude was an unusual cat. He had one of the greatest and sharpest legal minds in the country, but did not graduate from high school, let alone college. But he used the libraries of Kansas City as his law offices. But he had direct lines to powerful senators and even Eric Holder and all them guys. And he was advocating this for years, because he was a friend of the Till family. Unfortunately, he died from complications from COVID and also this horrible accident they had on the way to celebrate Emmett Till's cousin Willa Parker's birthday in Chicago. He slipped off something in the train station at Kansas City and bust his head. So it messed up his cognitive skills and all this stuff. But we forget about people like him. He didn't fight for this to be just about the alphabet community. This for be protection. Black folks should be a protected class in this country, but yet they always use our sacrifices, our tragedies as cannon fodder, as the blueprint for everybody else's advancement. Just like I use the civil rights movement for the advancement of white women and gays and immigrants. And Black folks have been not only left behind, they're trying to erase Black people off the map. And we are the willing fools in this type of BS. So us to celebrate an Emmett Till bill that should have came out 124 years ago is a disgrace.
Black folks never bill makes lynching a federal hate crime offense. The bill imposes criminal penalties, a fine, a prison term up to 30 years, or both.
But look, Black folks been hanging from telephone poles in front of courthouses, hanging from jail cells, Sandra Bland. They all call that suicide now. So if you lynching Black folks but won't call it lynching, what's the point of an Emmett Till bill to protect people from hate crimes? Is it really about protecting the alphabet community from being chastised and stuff? My understanding, like even the Emmett Till bill, like they redefine what a lynching is. But think about even your family trees, the stories of your ancestors who've been taken advantage of, who disappeared, but it was on their way to the grocery store and never came back. I know stories about that. I hear stories about that all the time. So all the hell we call as Black people, this the best y'all can do is a picture perfect moment, supposedly, and this lip service to BS. This is ridiculous. All these Black folks, and they still killing Black activists from Ferguson, man. It was a dude that was found hanging in his mama's backyard who was active. His mom was active in the Ferguson movement, in the Mike Brown thing. You had Darren King D. Seals, who found burnt up and shot up in his car back in September 2016, who was an advocate, who was very critical of Black Lives Matter LLC. See, all this stuff with Ferguson, you look at even George Soros spending $40 million down in Ferguson for the Black Lives Matter movement. Look at the leadership they propped up. Look at Cory Bush. You got black folks still catching hell for being involved in Ferguson back in 2014 in that area, and Cory Bush in Congress, and she benefited from the sacrifices of black males. See, how are you going to help lesbians lead a movement where the blood of movement is basically majority-wise is the sacrifice of black men?
Wow. And also, you heard quietly after these shootings, some of those activists who were always out on the scene, you would hear stories here and there about them being murdered and killed, but you wouldn't really hear it a lot on the news.
Ain't no follow up, like even in Breonna Taylor case in Louisville, it was a well-known black activist down there that got killed. Nobody did a follow-up on it. Just another black life lost. I mean, we don't help institutions. You know what the problem is with black people? We got no friends. Because even when America was lynching Chinese immigrants and Italian immigrants, guess what America had to do? They had to pay restitution back to their country of origin. You kill a bunch of Italian immigrants down in New Orleans, you pay restitution to Italy. You kill a bunch of Chinese immigrants out west or in Mississippi, you pay restitution to China. When you killing black people, you owe nobody any type of respect. To me, I look at that the Supreme Court BS. You gotta go back to what Roger Taney told in the Dred Scott decision. When Dred Scott tried to get his freedom in Missouri, Dred Scott is buried right outside of Ferguson. I went to visit his grave one time. But let me tell you, you nor your descendants have any rights that the white man is bound to respect by law. Includes Emmett Till. We have no rights. We don't respect you as people, as humans, as citizens. You have no rights. For us to be celebrating these BS nominations because she had to play that game, y'all getting emotional about her being hazed. She was joining a sorority.
Brother Ron, you's not gonna talk about masters no more, is you, brother? I'm scared, Brother Ron.
I'm saying, Katanja ain't doing me no good. She can't change my tires. She can't do me nothing for me. She can't cook me no eggs in the morning. She can't do nothing for me. I'm not happy because she got a black name, but her husband, she sleep white though. Even Imhoff Harris sleep white. Clarence Thomas sleep white.
It really irks my soul when I just log on. I immediately see black celebrities pushing every Democrat they see. And when you black, I don't see how you could care about either party, to be honest with you. I mean, and then they stand so high on it, like they just everything they saying is factual. But you, like you said, Brother Ron, you ain't got no friends, so I don't see how you could be so loyal to any party, because it's all a bunch of BS at the end of the day. At least to me.
You know what? Black folks should treat the Democrats like Mike Vick treat dogs. I'm just saying, in my OG, it's a joke, people. Listen up.
Right. What about this, Ron?
What is that?
Now, this is Serena Williams, which we've said a lot of good things about lately. We honor her father, King Richard, the movie, and that other stuff that's been going on. But I have to be honest with you. A long time ago, a couple of years ago, I worked for ESPN, prior for 11 years, and I remember when Serena came back from a break and they had her exclusive interview. It was on a TV. ESPN didn't do it from my memory. It was another station.
Okay.
But I was watching it at work. And immediately when they showed Serena, I said, what did she do to her face? She had messed with her lips and her nose. And nobody else seemed to notice it but me. But I said to myself, this is a noticeable difference. So I started seeing this immediately when she started messing with her face when other people didn't see it. But see, now she's been caught a couple of times with some bad makeup, and now she's looking like Fraggle Rock. And as much as this show is about uplifting black people, I'm gonna have to call my homegirl Fraggle Rock, because to me, when you're black and you are already blessed with the melanin to the degree that it is to give you that golden glow, and when you already black of people that's been put on display for how their body parts are, normally more plump and juicy, and I'm using all these delicious type of words, but when you already a person who's black, who's already got a nice hindquarters, you know, she's blessed in the back, and what do you need surgery for? This is just like black folks and shooting, which we're gonna get to that too later. Since when did we need cosmetic surgery on anything? Cosmetic surgery was supposed to be for people who were in car accidents, who maybe need to have their face reconstructed, or it was for other medical reasons that didn't have anything to do with vanity. But because the devil, the man, wants you to believe that everything should be able to be changed about yourself, then it's okay as long as you got the money to make the change. And everybody's always speaking about love yourself, but are you loving yourself? If you got to make all these changes like this, what happened to natural beauty? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people do need help. Some people are hurt, but then we have to go back to beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But even still, do you have to make permanent changes to your appearance?
I mean, you get to that level, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand, she sleeps white too. She's sleeping white, so there's the power of that white influence. Like, you know, you got to please your masters. And I'll say this about Serena and Venus. I mean, 20 years ago, I applied for a grant, Wrigley gum, whatever. They were sponsoring it, and they gave it to me, and they sent me like, $1,500. I was a college student about to graduate. They sent me $1,500 and an autographed picture of them. So I give them those props. But at that same time, when I'm looking at Serena, I'm thinking about Michael Jackson. To be able to achieve at the level he achieved at, they're gonna make you hate yourself. You can't help but they'll give you the tools to empower and destroy yourself at that level. You know what I'm saying? Because Michael got to a level where a lot of people, he was in the stratosphere. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got, and the Williams sisters got to that level too. But Michael had issues with the way he looked, with his nose, whatever. You look at Little Kim. I thought Little Kim was hot back in the day, and then she did the stuff she did to herself. Dealing with that, let's show you how racist the system is, how racist the industry is, the sports entertainment industry is. Like, you're not allowed to be who you want to be, or maybe you don't know who you really are, because to have a strong black father like King Richard Williams and to go from there to how you looking now, something's wrong.
Well, people worried about gender, but you better be, worried about even knowing what race people are. Because you used to be able to say, look at that black woman, she got full lips, full this. But now the white women like the Kardashians, especially Khloe, hell, she don't look like 20 different people. And Armenians or wherever they come from, they love to say that they're bussy women too. Yeah, but some of them features are definitely, white women didn't have them features. Go back and look. They predominantly had small buttocks, not large, and smaller breasts. Black women and black men, biologically have bigger body parts and anatomy. And when you have people like Venus and Serena and other black women getting unnecessary surgeries, and then you got white women getting unnecessary surgeries, they're not seeing the beauty in who they are as people. You're going to start crossing things to the point of then you got people bleaching the skin, you got people getting color added to themselves. Who is going to be who? Then it used to be beautiful to see people all over the world to say, oh, that's a Japanese person. Oh, look at this person with the wooden shoes on. Oh, look at this person with their culture, and they have a dot on their head. Oh, look at this. But if we all start trying to just be one thing, or this one ideal of what beauty is, that's what gets you in trouble. When you want to see, it's all, you can't have one or nothing. That's one thought, you're gonna have a problem. You really, that's not, to me, really, that's not freedom. People looking at it as freedom, but it's not freedom. It's setting us up for destruction. It's setting us up for confusion. It's gonna be more than just not knowing what people gender are. You ain't gonna know what people are. And period. You just gonna know that they a person. Hell, you may, after a while, if people keep getting, you see those crazy stories where it's like man turns into lizard, he gets his tongue split in half to look like a lizard or look like a snake, and he got piercings sticking out of his head. You keep wanting to be any and everything in the sun.
Well, it's thank God it's coming to a conclusion now, because this is what happens when you have a McDonald's and KFC in every country. You know, like you start wanting everything to be the same, everything to taste the same, look the same. But my thing is like it's not always good to utilize all your options. It's good to have options, but sometimes it's not good to always want to use every option that's available to you. And people talking about trust the science. Well, I trust and know this, that for every action there's a reaction. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But with our people, man, like we want to be like and look like white folks so much to our own detriment. This is the problem with us.
I mean, this is horrible, Ron.
I mean, it looks bad, but maybe she didn't look that bad on the Oscars, though. That's the thing.
No, so it's okay. Well, maybe it's bad lighting, but
it'd be lighted, yeah. But still, it speaks a lot to where her mental state is, and to me, what people consider normal, I think, is insanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like you think about even when you go back to Leah Thomas, the man who think he's a woman, who's the number one
swimmer. I've talked about on this show.
Yeah, you definitely talk about. But I'm saying people think that's okay, but a lot of folks don't think they standing up now. I'm glad people are speaking out, because the council culture need to be counseled. Council culture need to be counseled.
People just got to go back to not giving a damn,
right?
And I think it's coming back those risks as well. You know, but see, I have a problem with everybody putting on their profile, she and her, and when you're not transgender, because I feel like some people just like on LinkedIn. I felt, was it pressure for me to put she and her on my profile? Just because will that make me look like a better candidate to people in HR? Will I look like I'm supporting diversity and inclusion? Really, that's why I feel like a lot of people put it on there, because they want to be seen as somebody who's okay with everything that's going on.
Right.
They want to make it seem like, oh, they're down for the culture. But I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. If you transgender and you want to put she, her, or him, he, or we, they, then okay, you do it. But I shouldn't be forced to have to do that.
Like it go back to what you were saying. I'm thinking about what you just said about the pronouns, and also you ain't gonna be able to tell who is who or what is what. I had a college classmate. I think it's a sister. She was born a female, but she like, you know, you ever saw that Saturday Night Live skit called Pat? Well, people didn't know like it's Pat, but you don't know what Pat is, a man or woman, and they did a movie about it. But she had like her sister looked like I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what she was, but she made national news tragically because she was attacked by. She was mauled to death by a mountain lion up in the Pacific Northwest. And so it finally came out that she used the pronoun thing. I said, oh, okay. But she was born a female, but she identified as they and them and all that stuff. It was hard to tell if she was a man or woman too, but you know, I guess mountain lions don't care about all that. But it was unfortunate it happened to her.
Yeah, well. I guess I'm gonna get left behind because I ain't got time for all this new age stuff sometimes. But hey, move it on. I have to say, are we desensitized to all the shootings and killings? I just want to say, I think that I am. Now, this guy right here, he just looks like he's over life. Just he's over everything, Ron. Mm-hmm. This is Frank James, and this is a post by the NYPD News. He was a person of interest in the shooting that took place on the N train in Brooklyn a week ago. Now, back in the day, you would have said black folks don't do crimes like this. Well, they doing it now, Ron.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be like them at all costs.
Have you heard about this story?
Yeah, I heard about Frank James. He ain't Jesse James or the real Frank James, whatever like that. But you remember a story back in the day about the brother on the subway in New York? I think his name was Carl Ferguson. You know what I'm talking about? He was a black man started shooting up white people on the train.
Well, what happened?
1993 Long Island Railroad shooting.
Well, no, I didn't.
Yeah, it made a lot of news because I think somebody ended up running for Congress based on that. Colin Ferguson, that was his name. He started because of racism. I mean, I think he was shooting because of racism.
I have yet to hear why this guy shot people. Do you know why he was shooting the people?
I don't know why, but it's like he was a bad shot because nobody died, as far as I know.
I want to say somebody died.
Well, I think it's still people in the hospital. I'm not sure, but it's like I don't believe everything I see on the news. Like he's under the influence of something. Like he's a Manchurian candidate, MK Ultra type of thing. I think we all are Manchurian candidates though, because we've been trained and programmed about social media. So you don't know what I want to see what's on his playlist. what's on his Spotify or Amazon Prime Music, whatever he was listening to at the time.
I'm trying to look at this guy like I'm trying to see him as this person that you're saying that he is. He just looks void of any kind of soul.
Yeah, he's on the influence. I'm saying he could have had a trigger word. It could be some trigger that caused him to do that. You don't know what these people, man. You just don't know. It's like you be looking at Atlanta. Atlanta is the home of the Centers for Disease Control. You don't know what type of stuff they're whipping up in the lab down there to put on the people.
Coming from Georgia, I would always think about that if they hit that place.
Yeah, but you think about even before the pandemic happened. Remember when Dr. Timothy Cunningham they found in the river down in Atlanta? He was an epidemiologist. I think an epidemiologist. He studied pandemics and stuff like that. He allegedly was saying that there was releasing biological warfare on black people. And then the next thing you know, he was up for a promotion he never got. They found him floating in the river down there.
That's what they do.
2019.
They take you for a trip down Battle Lake.
Yeah.
When you do something that they don't like. But Ron, are we desensitized? Because look, it was a shooting just the other day. Today I think multiple people was injured in a shooting at a shopping mall in Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, we are desensitized. You know why? Because people care more about a slap than they do about people shooting people down.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I do too, Ron. Because literally when I preparing for this show, I've seen like another shooting pop up, and I look at it and I look away.
Well, America always been a violent place. American history is a gangster rap album. You know what I'm saying? Like America always been violent. Like Dr. King said, the greatest purveyor of violence on the planet is my own government. America always been about blowing up stuff. Listen to our Star Spangled Banner. What's that about? It's about blowing up stuff, about killing slaves and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it's America, baby.
It's America. You should have knew better, baby.
Yeah, I don't
look. Y'all must have forgot little Roy Jones on it. Y'all must forgot who America was, baby.
Yeah, America. You better recognize.
That's hilarious.
We celebrate wars for holidays. You know what I'm saying? That's America, baby.
Y'all must forgot the gangster y'all was messing with, baby.
That's right. America gonna retaliate, you know.
Speaking of retaliation, why do people keep playing with the baby? Because he ain't nothing to play with, okay?
No, he ain't no the baby. He's the man. He's the
man. And if you don't understand, he gonna show you with his hands. Boss. I've been interviewing battle rappers, Ron. I got balls.
That's right. Shout out to your battle rappers you've been having on. You have some great shows lately.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was that?
You had some great shows lately with the battle rappers, man. You have some excellent content coming out.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all make sure if you haven't, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the Kera Dangerous Talk YouTube channel. And after we're done, you can go over to Ron Hurt's WeAllBeTV and give him a like and subscribe as well on any of his videos.
I'll tell people when you get these mass shooters, somebody need to share what their playlist is. What was in their state of mind, like the mood. Cause you know, like back in the day, it was a dude that killed a state trooper down in Texas. He blamed Tupac song Soldier Story, I think, off his first album, as making him want to kill the state trooper. He got on death row. They killed him back in 2005.
Okay, but you had to listen to that song more than once to know that you want to kill somebody. So you could have stopped that song at any point of time before you let your mind go to that evil place. And then that's somebody who already had mental issues already stored up in his brain, and maybe some lyrics triggered that insanity.
Yeah, even the guy who allegedly killed John Lennon, Mark David Chapman, they say he was listening to, he read J.D. Salinger's Catching the Rye. They blame it on that. But a lot of this stuff, I mean, I'm telling you something, the Beatles was brought over here to get the kids on drugs, according to John Lennon. They was brought over here from England to get the kids. Listen to their music. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, LSD. Hey Jude is about heroin. So that, music plays a role in people's behavior and moods.
Why I try so hard?
Your playlist.
Yes, I try so hard to like the Beatles, and I'm sorry, I don't.
You know what? You know what's funny about the Beatles? I guess they wrote those songs. I'm not sure because everything's a lie now. But the people that remake their songs sound better than the originals. Like Al Green, I Want to Hold Your Hand sound way better than I Want to Hold Your Hand.
I don't like that music. I'm sorry. I've tried.
You ever listen to people, other artists interpret Beatles songs though? I think the interpretations are better than the originals.
I believe it.
But they got their shit, they stuff from black people. You know, like the blues artists come over there, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Otis. I mean, we are the gods of what they do, but they don't worship the gods, they worship the disciples.
Well, let me say this. Let's get back to the baby. Because he don't play.
No, he don't play.
Okay. And someone, an idiot, I guess, tried to rob the baby. All this, well, he never made it inside. First of all, never made it inside the baby's mansion in Troutman, Carolina. The person was shot and injured outside the home, and he was actually shot in the lower body. What I found funny about this run is that on the baby's around his mansion, he has signs. He has the no trespassing signs, but he also has signs that says we have guns and shovels.
You know what? The baby would have fit in right with the Death Row Records back in the 90s. He would fit
my God, he would have been.
He did, yeah. He would be like with Tupac, Ride or Die with Suge. I like the baby.
And I think he may be safe in this one, Ron, because you're trying to come on his property,
right?
And come on, we have guns and shovels. Why would you even try a place that told you that? And I got this information from Queen City News, Carolina, that news station out there.
Okay.
He's rappers aren't playing about intruders in the home. We saw Lil Durk and his girl. They shot back at people trying to come into their home. These rappers,
Soulja Boy, right? Soulja Boy.
Yep, Soulja Boy.
They killed Pop Smoke and some BS. You know, he probably got set up by somebody. Pop Smoke got killed. R.I.P.
Yes, these people are suited up.
You got to be.
Well, look at this. I got Matt Hoff on here. Snitches get stitches.
Now they get ditches now. You put them in, like you said, guns and shovels.
Well. Matt Hoff, I've been looking for you, boy. Hit me up. That's hilarious.
But I always tell people like the baby, he reminds me, because this April is Jazz Appreciation Month, and he reminds me of Sidney Bechet. I think Sidney Bechet came back as the baby. The reason why I said Sidney Bechet had a unique flow. He's one of the fathers of jazz saxophone. You know, Coleman Hawkins and him, they popularized the use of saxophone in jazz. In particular, Sidney Bechet popularized the use of the soprano saxophone in jazz. His sound was so dominant on soprano saxophone that it took somebody like John Coltrane decades later to offer an alternative sound on soprano saxophone. But Sidney Bechet had a temper. He like the baby. He known to slap some people around, like Will Smith did with Chris Rock. And also Sidney Bechet got into a gunfight overseas. I think it was in France. He got into a gunfight with some dude over chord changes. Some black dude from Chicago. They were talking about chord changes. I think Sidney felt insulted because he couldn't read music, even though he was a great musician. A lot of people don't understand. A lot of our greatest musicians couldn't read so-called Western music style. They just played by feeling. And Sidney Bechet wrote an autobiography. I don't even know if he wrote it. I don't think he could read and write. But it was called Treated Gentle. And this dude was born May 14th, 1897. He died on his birthday back in the 50s, May 14th, 1959 at 62. But anyway, I was telling them that I thought that the baby was the reincarnation of Sidney Bechet, this great jazz musician from New Orleans, who was known for getting in shootouts over in Europe and slapping people around. But he was a phenomenal musician. So y'all should listen to Sidney Bechet. He's a national hero, like Josephine Baker is in France. But anyway, I'm glad to have you back.
I'm glad you look. I apologize, everybody. My camera battery just absolutely sucks. So just excuse this technical difficulty. But I totally agree with everything you said, Ron. Okay. I knew I was in safe hands. Mm-hmm. For everybody who's joining us now, make sure you like, comment on this video, and subscribe. So the baby, don't mess with these rappers because they got it waiting on you. That's all I gotta say at the end of the day with this one, Ron.
I wish Young Dolph had the baby O'Shine in his corner that day. They cut him down in that cookie shop.
What do you mean?
If he had somebody that was shooting back like the baby O'Shine, I think he'd still be alive. Young Dolph.
Well, let me ask you this, because I sent you over the audio from when the baby called. Well, I think it was the baby who called 911 to tell
It
them.
sounds like him. I guess it sounds calm, cool, and collective. I like it.
Yeah, the voice didn't really sound like him, people were saying, but I mean, who else would call? But
Right.
when you hear the video, it's the fact that 911 kept asking him the same question over and over. Is this person alert? Is this person alert? But yet they could hear the victim moaning in the background. And this was clearly frustrating the baby who was on the phone.
He been through this before, of course, you know that.
But it almost seemed like 911 wanted him to admit of doing something wrong. Did you get that same sense from when you heard the 911 call?
What did public enemy say? 911 is joking your town. Because police never to prevent crime, they're at the scene of the crime. They never there, you don't need police to prevent crime. They don't prevent crime. They always get there at the scene of the crime. So the baby had a right to defend his life. Self-preservation is the number one rule of nature. If more black folks thought like the baby in terms of defending their life, we'd be in a better place as a people. Like, we want to make a lot of these folks make fools out of us or political cannon fodder. But I don't see no issue with the baby because, I mean, he's very talented. I like the baby music. Gifted guy. He got a right to defend his life. And you got a lot of haters out here. You got a lot of people that don't want to see you shine, even people in your inner circle. So you don't know what that's really about. It could be somebody from his inner circle tip that person out to go over to his property. So we know this is resurrection weekend, right?
Well, I have to say, when I listened to this 911 call, I would have been so frustrated at this person. You have the baby who's been in all this legal trouble and all this bad media and bad press that he's gotten, and I'm playing it just like the person on the phone. I'm keeping it straight business. And in fact, I just had an intruder in my own home. So why does it seem like I'm more urgent than 911? No, don't get me wrong. We know 911 has to ask a few questions, but to ask the person the same question 4 times, or is the person alert and you hear the person moaning on the, I mean, I heard the audio really well. Like one of the best 911 calls that I've heard in a long time. Because normally you can't hear anything the person's saying.
Yeah, like you said, but his voice is really, it was kind of different. You definitely hear the moans. I mean, as far as the guy who's the baby, it's like that's his demeanor, though. You watch the baby online. Okay, it's like his demeanor. So maybe that's distortions, whatever reason. But I think a lot of times they do that just to trip you up to see if you're gonna keep your story consistent.
Well, he was telling the operator, "Can you hurry up and get here?" So that I don't know if he had somebody with him, because they were like, "Is somebody else?" He's like, "I don't know. I hope not." He kept trying to tell him he need to get off the phone so he could do something with his phone. And when you guys pull up, make sure your siren's on so I can know.
He been through there before. He understands what the protocol is. That's why he's cool. I like the baby. He understands, because like they feel this guy killed somebody at Walmart. Y'all talking about him making fun of y'all. I care more about insults than people's lives. Black lives don't matter.
Apparently not. We know that's the group who brought that out. That was a scam.
Yeah.
Have we talked about this? What happened in Tennessee? The baptism. We talked about that because that's
no. You brought it up. I mean, the lady. You go ahead and tell us about it, and we can talk about it.
A woman sued a cop who forcibly baptized her, but now she's dead. And I looked everywhere to find out, now that she's dead, what happened. But apparently they're still doing an autopsy, trying to figure out what happened to her. Was it foul play or whatnot, or did she just die naturally? But apparently this woman was stopped, and this police officer asked her, has she ever been baptized? And she said no, and I don't think right now is the right time. But he told her, well, if you get baptized, I won't give you a citation. He felt like this is what God was telling him to do. And she said, the lady Riley, she said, well, for a moment there, it made me feel good, because I'm thinking this is something that God actually told him to do. But he was rough with her, and now she's gone, and we don't know why she's gone. Soon as these charges get ready to be played out in court. You're from Tennessee. Does it seem strange to you?
It's very strange. I don't care where you're from. It's strange, period. Because he put it in a body of water, right? She got baptized in a body of water.
Right.
It drove, and then he had a partner that backed him up. They didn't intervene. This is not protocol.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was saying, the partner was saying, well, I thought it was okay because the woman agreed. You abusing your power. You the police. People are afraid of the police. A lot of people, especially black people, we were afraid. I don't know what color this woman was. But you can look at that guy like he's off. I want to know what his playlist is too. What he be listening to on a regular basis. I want to know.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, that's not the right.
No. But he might be listening to Joe. I don't know. But that's abuse of power right there. It
is abuse of power.
Yeah, because that's not even a part of getting somebody off. I had cops pull me over. They let me go by with a warning. They didn't say, "Well, I want you to get baptized." Brother Ron, come on, follow me to this field. I mean, I already don't want to. I don't like getting stopped by police already, but I don't want to follow you nowhere I don't know. And some, you know what I'm saying, being a body of water with you. Nope.
This is one of these situations where I know I'm going to see it on Lifetime one day, or I'm going to see it when I log on to my Sling account. One of these stories, because something just isn't right here. I wish I knew the age of this woman, because I want to know. I want to think to myself, would this have been natural cause? It just feels dirty to me, like something had to happen to her. As soon as your lawsuit comes up and you're ready to get this thing worked out, now she just shows up dead. I mean, how bizarre is this?
Yeah, because they only tell you what the cause of death. And I don't believe as I get older, there's no such thing as a natural cause of death, because like you got all type of things, like the food you eat, the air you breathe, the water you drink. I mean, it's a lot of things that's killing people that, people don't consider natural killers. But I look at the fact that there's stories of people always getting disappeared, being pulled over by police and never heard from again. It was a story that Tyler Perry was involved in, I believe, in Florida, where this cop was known for pulling over people that disappeared. Like soon he pulled them over, you never heard from them again. So this stuff is real, man. This stuff is real. It's like even like with Sandra Bland, she get killed down in the jail cell over the weekend. And you look at the photo of her mugshot, she looked like she was dead already.
Oh my God!
They never told us what was used to hang her with. I want to know how strong, it's questions that were not asked that should have been asked. This is why black folks' lives don't matter, because we got nobody in position to help us get the answers to the questions that need to be asked in the first place. You got folks ambulance chasing, you got your Ben Crumps and your Lee Marriage and your Al Sharpton. You got no real revolutionary institutions or people that gonna hold us down. We need a drop squad. We need some goons. Need some justice goons. I mean, I'm being honest. Yeah, black folk want to pray the way. Nah, you have to do some more than that. Need some justice goons, some real goons.
Right. I wish the gangsters, the real ones, cared about justice. Then we'll be a powerful people if we could have some of them guys in Chicago be on our side on some of this stuff.
They would have been, but what happened? The government killed Fred Hampton. You politicizing Jeff Ford and them guys. And then the government used them as the goons to get people to vote a certain way, to get people to do things. The gangs were created by the government. It wasn't created by black people in the hoods. Like the Crips and Bloods were created because they killed Bunchy Carter and John Huggins at UCLA. And then at the end of the year in '69, they killed Fred Hampton in Chicago. And the Richard Nixon campaign used Jeff Ford and his gang to get the vote out in Chicago. They said they had an invite for Jeff Ford. Jeff Ford couldn't even read or write back then. And he got an invite from the White House to attend the inauguration. This is what they do. Our government is evil. It's like everything. Like you had 9 FBI informants at the Audubon the day Malcolm got killed. The National Secretary for Nation of Islam, John Ali, who's still alive, was FBI. The first black FBI agent was hired to neutralize Marcus Garvey. The gun that killed Dr. King came from the FBI. Yeah, black folks, man, the FBI. Kendrick Johnson down in Valdosta, Georgia. The guys who allegedly killed Kendrick Johnson, they daddy was an FBI agent.
Yeah, he was. And then for the organs to be gone and people sell organs and stuff. Come on, stop playing with us. You can see that interview on the Kera Dangerous Talk channel too that I did with Kendrick Johnson's mother, Jacqueline Johnson. Shout out to her and her whole family.
Yeah, I talked to them some years ago to their lawyer at the time too, a guy named King. But I'm saying, you look at all this stuff, black folks still trust the government? They dumping drugs and guns in your community via the CIA. Y'all still trust the government to tell y'all the truth of beef? Look at Flint, Michigan. I'm just saying, black folks kind of strange. We gluttons for punishment. especially when there's a white face attached to the punishment.
I wonder how many people would allow the cop to baptize them. Because can you imagine if you said no? I wonder would he have snapped and just killed you then?
Yeah, look at him. Look at his mugshot.
Let me bring it back.
What's on his playlist? Jesus is Love or Burn?
I don't look like it. Like some stuff
right.
like metal
music.
The hardcore.
That man look weird. You on a dark road with no light. Would you do what he tell you to do to survive?
Well, yeah. And see, that's the game that Sandra Bland didn't play. Now, as a black activist, as a black person, she should have known. Just shut the hell up. Even my big mouth self, like, just be quiet. Like, you're not gonna win against that system. Like, especially right in his face at that time. They got the power. They got the gun. She had nothing.
Right.
Like I've said many times when I seen the documentary, and she only needed, was it $200 or $500?
It was like something real low, but she could get nobody on the phone, right?
And no, she got people on the phone, but they had no money. And then it's like certain people in her family had no urgency to even get the money. One of her family members told her, just hang in there.
That's sad.
Not knowing Sandra personality, y'all need to go get her.
I mean, she had a boyfriend too, right? At the down there.
I don't remember hearing that part.
Yeah, but I'm saying the fact that her mama got paid off and paid to be silent about that's sad because they murdered her daughter.
Come on.
Ain't that was my daughter. I don't think that jail will be still standing.
Yeah, they got sick of her running her mouth. That's what that was about.
Yeah, but I mean, they know your daughter got murdered and there's no justice if you got a bag. Bag don't mean justice. You mean like when they had the mothers of the movement, whatever, like not the mothers of the movement, but you know the DNC, the Democratic National Convention back in 2016? Mm-hmm. They had all them black mothers who lost their loved ones to police brutality. I think Mike Brown mom was there, Sandra Bland mom, Trayvon Martin mom was there. I mean, the Democratic Party didn't do nothing to protect the people in Ferguson. I remember I was down in Ferguson when after that Mike Brown stuff, I was covering that. And you had a governor that was a Democratic governor, I think Jay Nixon. They using illegal chemicals against citizens that was outlawed by the Geneva Conventions. You got Eric Holder goofy ass going down there. Obama goofy ass ain't said nothing. These are Democrats. Eric Holder said, if we can't talk about race in an honest way, we're a nation of cowards. Eric Holder is one of the biggest cowards on the planet because like his sister-in-law was Vivian Malone, who helped integrate Alabama University. And how you gonna have that as part of your family and be such a coward when it comes to protect our people? You got pregnant women getting sprayed on with illegal chemicals and stuff, getting beat down, getting their eyes knocked out. And you damn bastards didn't say a damn thing. Obama a mutt didn't say nothing. You got a Democratic government that allowed that to happen. You a Democratic president with a Democratic attorney general, and y'all do nothing.
But you got celebrities talking about, oh, thank you, Master, because he looks like me. We got the same talk. She got hot sauce in her purse. So she's so cool.
Oh yeah.
She was in my sorority, so she my sister.
Chuck and Pearl, baby.
Yeah, give me a break.
Oh my God. But now our people are confused, man. It's sad that we don't have any type of advocacy or urgency at any levels. You know what I'm saying? Like at any levels.
Yeah, I'm calling out all y'all fake people, especially look out for Kera Dangerous next album, y'all. If you thought the artist was gone, you alive. I'm calling out all y'all fake. I hate to curse on a Sunday, so I'm gonna keep it polite.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
because it's our frustration and liberation. And you got to have a sense, like, there got to be a fierce urgency of now, like Dr. King said. We got to be more urgent because we run out of time, folks. Days are getting shorter. Speaking of running out of time, me and you, when we together, we always ready. We ready. We ready. Right. But we was not, Ron. Yes. We was not ready to hear this news about Archie Eversole. Yeah. Who rapped that song when I think I was in high school. I thought he was going to be like another T.I., but unfortunately, he had a short-lived career from what I knew of it. Mm-hmm. But in other news about him, they say that his brother shot him dead. And you never want to hear anything like this. What were your thoughts, Ron, when you heard this story? I didn't know about it till you told me about it. Actually, like you sent all this stuff to talk about. I said Archie Eversole. I looked at him. I said, I remember we read it. But I think about it now is that it's not unusual. You think about that stuff that happened in families, especially with siblings, because like April the 10th was National Siblings Day, and I have a unique relationship with my siblings, and I know people that fall out so bad with their siblings, they don't even go to their funerals. They say F that F, you know, they don't come to funeral. They grew up together, but they hate each other at the end. So my thing is like it reminds me, you know, April 25th will be the anniversary of the death and murder of Roger Troutman of a Zap, you know, computer love.
The T-Pain before T-Pain.
Right, he got killed by his brother Larry Troutman up in Dayton outside his studio. He died at the hospital, but he shot him to death, and then the brother killed himself. They found his body in his car, self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. But this happened like Cain and Abel. This is nothing new. Even Marvin Gaye got killed by his father. He brought the gun that his father used to kill him in self-defense. So Marvin really wanted to die. That's another story. You know, he just had a death wish, and he wanted his father allegedly to do it, and his father fulfilled the wish. But yeah, it's unfortunate to hear these type of family squabbles. It really divides the family. But also, I mean, we don't know everything about Archie. We don't know, you know, if the brother was self-defense. You don't know if his brother killed him in self-defense or anything. I don't know a lot of details of what happened. It's just nobody wins in those type of situations.
And we just don't know what kind of person either one of them was.
Yeah.
But when you hear brother kills brother, it goes back to that first biblical fight with Cain and Abel, you know?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I also like with I believe with Roger Troutman's situation, his brother was jealous of his success for some reason. I mean, you know, Roger Troutman was very successful. I think he had a whole lot of music left in him. And Roger Troutman had a granddaughter who was a gifted rapper who died of a drug overdose in the last 2 years. So I mean, there's a lot of tragedy in their family. So shout out to them. But you know, my thing about I think Roger Troutman was like 47 years old. But my thing about that is people always say, well, Tupac was a tragedy or Billie Holiday. If you leave stuff behind that outlives you for generations, that wasn't a tragic life. I mean, it was horrible. Some of the choices and things that happened to people, but that wasn't a tragic life. They left a contribution, no matter how long they lived on the planet. And Archie Eversole had that amazing sports theme song, We Ready, that's going to outlast him for a long time. I mean, he was a one-hit wonder, but that's going to outlast him. Going to be played in because I think that's the official sports theme for a soccer league or soccer team down in Atlanta, right?
I think I'm not trying to be funny, but I can see if I'm Tupac and all the music he left. But my brother, don't shoot me if all I got is We Ready. Sorry.
That'd be like over 20 years ago, though. That came about 20 years ago. Like the royalty checks, you probably get good royalty checks off of that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me at least get 2 or 3 hits. I'd be damn.
It's like Lil Nas X, he was a one-hit wonder to me. He stretched it out because of controversy, but Old Town Road, that's gonna last for a long time. But now we know the information. I don't know. You could just the context of it all, but I don't think it's a bad life to be a one-hit wonder, though.
No, I don't either. I'm just being silly, but I mean, I'm just saying, comparing his work of music compared to Tupac's and some other artists is just like, okay.
Oh, think about this. Okay, look, you talk about a great Left Eye. We lost her 20 years ago this year. She was a phenomenal artist, but she said herself, if she's not here, TLC is not gonna last. It didn't last. Because really, she was the heart and soul of TLC. And she's
I still like TLC even when she wasn't in it, but it did take away from the group, but they still were good to me.
I ain't talented, but I'm saying, but Left Eye's the glue, though. You know, you got certain parts, you know what I'm saying? Like,
she was just the firecracker of the group. But I mean, I get your point. I definitely get your point, and it wasn't the same, but they still put out some cute songs. I mean, they just were always so commercial, so good to me.
Yeah.
But I get your point, though. Moving on, I was happy to see this. California could become the first state to have a 4-day work week. Proposed bill AB 2932 could make this happen. So it will reduce the work week to 4 days, or reduce hours from 40 to 32 for companies with more than 500 employees. And I got this from 93.5 K-Day. So I have to tell you, Ron, since the pandemic, and I think my mind even before then, but definitely now because of the pandemic, and you know, when I was going into a job there were moments where, you know, you only had to go a couple of days out the week and not even every day in the week, you know, and it just made you comfortable and it made you see that a lot of this work can be done from home. And just your mental state is just better when you don't have to deal with childish adults who are filled with drama and acting like children and snitching like little snitches and bitching like little bitches. Like it just was more peaceful just to be able to wake up when you want to, sleep in some days, and go to work when you got to go to work. But it wasn't a big deal because you had such a good break and you felt like you could spend time with your family if your family was right there with you, and you didn't have to worry about traveling for COVID. It was a lot of solace in that. So I can see why people want to push things now to kind of keep you where you can kind of have more of a work-life balance. What's your thoughts on a 4-day work week?
It should have been done that. You know what I'm saying? It should have just been doing a 4-day work week. You look at the benefits over in Europe, how it, it helps their countries stay productive over there with some of the people that are employed. And also, life is more than just working. You should be able to, have fun because life is already so short. You know what I'm saying? So it's more than just like punching in and out on the clock. You got to, take time to spend time with loved ones and family. Also have your own peace of mind. Have some solitude every now and then to keep you a little bit functional. If you're not all the way insane, but this functional insanity. I don't have no problem with it.
We sick of working like that. We know that it doesn't take all that they try to make it seem like it wants to take. And I think people, COVID gave them a chance to remember what they should be valuing in life. And for some people, it had to be done in a way where they were forced to spend that time and to see what that time did for them. Because it's only a certain amount of people who really feel like, I feel like a working slave. I feel like this is all I do. But for some people, they just was doing it like clockwork. So it just opened it up. And I'm glad to see companies like Twitter allow people just to stay home. Some of those jobs, we could just don't worry about coming in. I think in those spaces where that's okay, it should be allowed.
Definitely, and also I would say while you limiting the work week, also increase the minimum wage as well to a decent price, or decent, so that people can afford some of the luxuries in life, or just afford rent. Hell, how about that? Or pay their light bill. Decrease the work hours, but increase the work pay.
Please do, because just like we talk about on a lot of these shows, I don't want to have to be forced to give you my whole paycheck for a tip just because you're the person, your owner doesn't pay you right. Your employer doesn't pay you right. I mean, I don't have a problem with tipping. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like people's attitude got a little nasty on tipping. Like I can't be forced to give you anything. But the conversation really need to be with these employers.
That's the system. You got to put pressure on the system because I know, like some places take out a tip automatically. They'll take out 18% or whatever, and I don't think somebody should be forced trip or guilt tripping the tipping anyway. I think you should, because like a lot of these people, the culture has changed a lot of these restaurants. Like the food ain't what it used to be, the service ain't what it used to be. I don't think you should be guilt tripped into tipping because it's the culture, all that stuff.
I want to thank all the people who's donated some cash to the Kera Dangerous talk show. You can continue to do that on YouTube right here. Ron, you got better experience with this than me. What do you call that when they buy those on YouTube?
Super chats.
Yeah, super chat. You can support the show and send donations by super chat. If you guys missed it, we had a celebrity stop by here. Battle rapper Matt Hoffa told me snitches get stitches. I don't know if he was talking about me, but he put a winky face there, so I'm guessing that I'm good to go.
That's right.
He gave me $20, $19.99, which is funny. I don't know if that's some kind of diss or joke, but the fact he gave me $19.99, the fact he gave me any money, I'm gonna take it, and I'm happy about it. So whatever.
Well, the 6-year anniversary of Prince's death is coming up on April 21st. I can't believe it's been 6 years. 6 years.
A Prince death? It's been 6 years.
Right. He died in 2016. That was a crazy year for celebrity deaths. 2016. Everybody was dying, it seemed. In 2016.
Speaking of dying, it makes me confused and makes me feel like people are dead inside when they say that they don't like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Who said that?
See how I kind of did that? It was a little
Yeah.
rough at first, but I segue on in. So
Okay.
Krispy Kreme will match. Okay, it says Krispy Kreme ties donut prices to average gas price on Wednesdays to offer inflation relief.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Ron. I don't know what that means, but I just want to talk about donuts.
Okay, nothing wrong with Krispy Kreme. I like them when they're hot though. Krispy Kreme, one of them donuts you like to have them when they're hot. You know.
Oh yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
like didn't Chris Rock say before he got slapped that Krispy Kreme is like it got crack in it?
I think him and Bruce probably said that. I think about Bruce because he said he be sucking it up like a vacuum when it's hot. But Krispy Kreme is good. But you know, I went to LA about 5 years ago. It's crazy, about almost 5 years ago, and they got a place called Randy's Donuts. Them donuts are incredible. It's right by the LAX in Inglewood.
Mm-hmm.
Them donuts, like Snoop Dogg, What's My Name? He did a shot on Randy's Donuts. Those donuts taste good, hot or cold. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a great donut. But Krispy Kreme, I mean, it's a cultural icon, all this stuff.
Yes.
It's been a while since I had one, but when I get them, I like them hot because like it's different when they get cold.
Yeah, they melt it in your mouth like they just pull apart like cotton candy at the fair. Well, this is from USA Today. So starting Wednesday and every Wednesday, which this was this past Wednesday, May the 4th, Krispy Kreme is offering a dozen original glazed donuts for the price of a gallon of gas, which it calls donut deflation. For April the 13th, the price is $4.11, and the price will be based on the national average price of a gallon of regular gasoline in the USA. On Monday at the beginning of the week, the company said. There is a limit of 2 dozen at the promotional price at participating shops nationwide, at the drive-thru and for pickup by ordering online and through the Krispy Kreme app. So a nice little treat for folks out there. So you probably need to know about that. See how I be out here giving y'all life and stuff.
That's good. You gotta support the channel. Support the Kera Dangerous talk.
Yes. Now this last little story here, rapper Vince Staples, he was interviewed with Complex, and he said that they don't call any other genre the game. And he's talking about rap. And basically, he went on to talk about it further. And the whole gist of what he was saying was just to say that rap is a business, not a game. And I really got to find where I put these notes, Ron, because he said some other things about people running around like the N word. And that's why y'all look at it as a game. What do you think this means in the bigger sense, Ron, about them thinking that rap is a game? Is it because how many black people in hip hop? I mean, we take over almost a lot of genres of music, right? So, what does this mean in the big scheme of things to you?
It was like child's play in the game. I mean, I'm interested in actually hearing your perspective on this, but you think about you got grown men calling themselves the baby and little this and little that. And it's very like, I think hip hop is in a state of arrested development, Peter Pan complex, where it's not taken as serious, even though the casualties are real. You got people getting killed in the rap game and they're not coming back. You know what I'm saying? Lives been changed and messed over and stuff like that. My thing is this, life is a game. Life is a game. It's a sport. It's a contact sport. Also, it's like chess. There's so many different levels to the game. Really, to me, I think what's more important is to learn the rules of the game and to play to win, whatever that game is.
Ooh, now you just broke it down. Now, Vince said that they don't call any other genre the game. They call the rap game because there's a bunch of N words running around and they don't want to give black people shit.
Who is they? I'm just curious what he mean by that. No, I would ask.
Right.
The pronoun mob. Who is that?
And who are the N words that he's saying are running around and don't want to give black people stuff? Is he? I guess N words I wonder what race of people he's calling N words. I'm just trying to understand.
Well, like these rappers are confusing to me because everybody's the N word. It's an honorary term. Everybody's the N word. Like you look at, it's funny how people get mad. Like I'm looking at the Bel Air, right? The Bel Air show, And you know, that the locker scene where they all, what, Bobby Smurdo or something like that, and the white dude saying they're very comfortable around Carlton, and Will got mad, but him and his friends call themselves the N words all day long. And people,
well,
and
it
black
says
people on the
here,
police at work.
it says, what's the game? In basketball, you dribble, you shoot, you score, you win. He said. Vince added, the reason it's an expression is because somebody has to lose. So that way, when it ends up and you do it and it takes everything from you, then you just lost the game. But that's not what it's supposed to be. This is a business. You're supposed to have good business and good morals. Instead, they pay you, and you know they say, oh, this is an opportunity. So you don't deserve ownership of your project. This is an opportunity. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. So what I think he's saying is that these are people who expect you to be ignorant, to be played like you are in a game, because they expect you not to know anything and to fall for the okie doke. And they look at it as just a bunch of N-words running around. That's what he should have said.
Well, we talked about left eye. Look how TLC got duped. Well, it's a saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. TLC should have learned from Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry and Little Richard, but we haven't learned our lesson. Think about what Prince had to go through with Warner Brothers. To the Warner brother. You know what I'm saying? On the anniversary of him getting his stuff back, he got killed in the elevator. You know, Michael Jackson got that Sonny ATV catalog, but he couldn't live long enough to enjoy his riches. You know, outbid the Beatles for it. Their music. Playing the game got him killed. Sam Cooke tried to play the game, got him killed. Otis Redding tried to play the game, got him killed. Look at Meek Mill. He said he never got a dime from rapping at one point, I think, recently. Meek,
that's
come
crazy.
on, man. You buying the owner of the Patriots a Bentley? And he's a billionaire. Make it make sense.
You gotta please boss.
But you also remember, like, you know,
even gangsters and coon.
Yeah, but you remember what's the guy's name from Rap A Lot? Jay Prince. Like, he suggested that the black artists should boycott the Grammys and have their own alternative concert on the same night in Vegas. Remember when Jay Prince and Irv Gotti from Murder Inc. and Suge Knight wanted to start their own distribution company? What happened to them? The feds came in. Almost sent Irv Gotti and his brother to jail for decades. They was harassing Jay Prince for years. Suge Knight in prison for almost 30 years now. Like when Lou Farrakhan reached out to the black beauty suppliers to try to control their distribution back in the 80s. What happened? They all changed up on him, saying we can't support this because they don't want us to have this. So I mean, it's always a fight. Everything as far as human activity in a system of racism, in a religion called white supremacy, is warfare.
And y'all always need you just brought up a good point. Always check the black people who seem to have made it to the top, because they had to do a lot to get there.
Like Will Smith, he did a lot of slapping, all types of things, slapping the cheeks.
There's a lot of, even though they're not on sale at the moment, a lot of cooning going on Kera Dangerous. We still anti-coon, no cooning.
That's right.
No cooning shirts to be back. But look at some of these talented people who are on the verge of making it, and ask yourself why they didn't, and why the same couple of people are always in the spotlight. That's why they say, you don't need to be jealous of what somebody else going on in their life, because you don't know what they had to do to get there. You may not want to sacrifice and do the dirty things. And not saying everybody do dirty things, but more than that, you getting your hands dirty.
Ain't no way you can make it without getting dirty. He talking about some morals. There's no morals in business.
Right, because we got superstars right now who can't even sing, can't dance either, but somehow they rich and famous.
But think about this. But think about talent. Like, you look at the NBA, he made a good point about LeBron James and them should have more money. LeBron James should be a billionaire easily, but they cap how much money he could make. But the owners can make more money than God.
Right.
The owners can make more money than God, but the players can't make, and they the ones sacrificing their bodies.
Well, that's when these folks need to get together and start their own little thing.
But look what happened to Kobe though. The Kobe made a deal because Tracy McGrady was on ESPN with Rachel Nichols. He talked about how he wanted to
die young and have a good legacy
and be bigger than Jordan. And people say he's not bigger than Jordan. I said, talk to Kyrie Irving and all these young players who they prefer, Jordan or Kobe. To them, he is their Jordan. Well,
yeah, to the stupid ones, I mean, he copied Jordan on everything. So I mean, I like Kobe, don't get me wrong, but when you start to comparing him to Jordan, I'm always gonna go Jordan because anybody who copy your blueprint like that, I mean, you know, you can get inspiration, but just copy things, move or move. Nah, I'm gonna have to give it to the
I'm saying with the young, I'm talking about Kyrie Irving and them saying Steph and all them. I'm just saying that's their Jordan. Like Jordan was Kobe's Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a form of flattery, but what I'm saying with Kobe, you gotta look at deeper than what was going on. There's a lot of moving parts in that Kobe thing. He had a lot of powerful enemies. Look at the people he was associated with. Some of these folks were associated with Jeffrey Epstein. Then he was doing that trademark lawsuit that week. He supposed to been doing court that week. He got killed. So you know, they say he's trying to start his own league overseas. Then he was getting involved in women's basketball, especially with his daughter. So they don't only kill you; they kill your legacy. See, they don't only kill just you; they're target your legacy.
And they don't only just kill you and your legacy; they kill your idea, they kill your dream. Do you understand how important an ideal is?
Yeah, it's deadly.
That's why, you know, in places like Russia and Stalin and back then, they kill you for an ideal.
You know what? You brought that up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now, you know, when they did the purges, the first thing they did when they was having them purges in Russia back in the day, the first people they'll get rid of were artists and creators. They'll kill the artists or poets or send them out to Siberia, or they had to leave. They had to get the hell out of Russia.
Yeah, it's something to say about thinking on your own.
Yeah.
But I want to leave people with something good today as we end here, since it is a good Sunday. It's Easter. Every Sunday is good, but this one is extra special. I saw this come across the internet, and I wanted to bring it up today to give somebody some good word. You give life to what you give energy to. You give life to what you give energy to. So I want y'all to think about that, and I want you to take it with you today. Ron, this has been beautiful. What do you think?
I enjoyed this. This is time well spent with a beautiful person who don't believe guys are interested more than just being just friends.
I didn't say that.
All your guy friends, let's talk to them.
Oh, my guy friends. Yeah, I mean, I just said whatever. If y'all want to know what I said, you can watch the beginning of this show. Screw you, Ron.
No, all right. I know. Hey, oh, never mind. I ain't gonna go there. It's Easter. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I had to be like Chris Rock. I had to think about it. Okay, walking back. All right.
Yeah, leave it where it is. On a count of 3, Ron. Let them know what they watch.